Oh, baby. Sorry, guys. I'm setting everything up. Thanks for joining so far. This is a team talk, baby. Gonna talk about set 16 and a bunch of other stuff, but we're gonna start in just a second. Oh, baby! It is a Saturday afternoon, evening, and night. We're getting there. We're getting there. People be Johnny, and I'm super happy about that, man. We're gonna get it going soon. I'm gonna get on camera right now. Just setting up everybody's video. It's a lot more work than I thought it was gonna be, unfortunately. I blame George, honestly. It's usually the go-to for me. Just blame George. It's a lot easier, honestly. Yeah. 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 Okie doke, okie doke. I think we're all good. I didn't break anything, which is good. And we're just getting there now. We're getting there. All right. Hey, what's going on? Hope everyone's having a wonderful weekend so far. You know what's funny? They don't know what I'm saying right now unless they have the stream pulled up, but I am sharing my OBS, which they're looking at right now, and they're probably making fun of me if I had to take a guess. They're all muted. I can't hear them. You guys can hear them. But that's my guess, honestly. I think I adjusted the camera, which is no good. It's no bueno. I think we're all set up. Sorry, I didn't see any of the chat. When is the winner or bust? I don't know, but I'll save my discussion. That's the whole point. You know what I'm saying? An interesting topic. Yeah, man. I appreciate it. Thank you, Heal Twins. Both twins, one of them, both of them. They fuse into one, like Gogeta or Vegeta. What is the Hill Twins' favorite fusion? That's the real question. I actually don't know that. I've been playing the game for so long and seeing you guys for everywhere, and don't know what you guys' favorite fusion is. That is something you guys should lean to on brands, that's for sure. Okay, so let me go over here. Let me make sure these are. Oh, there's one more thing I have to do, but I guess we'll switch over. We'll switch over to them, and then we'll have everything ready there. I think hopefully this works. Okay, let me make sure everybody's works. Okay, I think it does. Oh no, they're all looking like they're all looking pretty happy. Pretty happy. No, they're super happy people. Look at them. All right. I'm unmuted. We are live.
All right.
So we're live?
Wait, so we're live?
Does that mean we're on, like, live?
We're on YouTube?
Josh isn't here anymore, guys. So there's no.
Why does your Twitch say you're offline? I don't understand.
They literally said offline.
Imagine that.
Bro, my Twitch,
Josh is in the chat. Never mind. Josh is in the chat. So
bro,
Josh is here. Hey, what up, baby?
All right, let me switch over.
My Twitch subscription is in shambles.
Well, good.
Teach me to pay that 6 months ahead of time.
Oh yeah, I'm taking away my subscription that doesn't exist. It's going through your YouTube.
Awesome. I'm so happy for you guys. Well, this is the team. Everyone should be kind of viewed here. I don't think I set up anything. So introduce you guys yourselves. I don't know what to tell you. Hold on. Just give me like 2 seconds so I can fix the thing where I can present everything.
You were almost alphabetical, but then Devin's right there in the bottom right. Like it was pretty close.
I wanted him to be below everyone anyway. You know,
that's fair.
That was the better move if you had to take a guess. Let me go over here. But yeah, set 16. I didn't. No, good. No.
I was saying this is when Devin just disconnects and he's like, I'm done with y'all, and just leaves.
I mean, that's fine. Honestly, it's probably a little bit later that might happen. Are we live, Josh? Yeah, we're live. The Hill Twins' favorite fusion is Gogeta. I don't know if you guys caught that, but I figured that would be a pretty important question to answer. But yeah, today we're gonna go over set 16, right? I'm gonna go through the colors. I haven't talked about any of the colors on the channel at all, just so I can kind of catch up today. I think.
Oh, so you're just trying to monetize us explaining you what the cards are. Is that what you're saying?
Yes. No. Question mark. I thankfully have been keeping up.
Guys, it's a ruse.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. Thankfully, I've been keeping up for the most part. How about you guys? Have you guys been keeping up at all?
Yeah.
Kept up with everything except the green because I didn't care, and the yellow stuff that just came out.
Did I even put green on the list?
I did. Wait, you did it. You did it. That's your.
Yo, I love green
How
too.
lackluster it
Guys,
is.
green is not a color in Dragon Ball.
It really isn't.
That's
Honestly.
true. It's the green stuff isn't like I looked at some like the first day, and then I just stopped caring after that. I was like,
I don't know if. I guess we're kind of jumping ahead. I don't know if the archetypes are going to be necessarily good. Like, they look solid, but, like, there's cards that are just, like, generic green support that they slap, dude.
All right. My favorite is Champa, and strictly because I play so much Digimon 2 that I can set 5 life for him, and it's like I'm playing Digimon, so it's not even a worry. So I don't have to get confused. Like
there you go.
So
there you go.
Easy for Digimon players. Second 5 life.
There you go.
You're also not going to get to play the game like a Digimon brick. So Champa, like here's the thing. Like it is insane the difference between being a 4-life leader and a 5-life leader makes. Beerus is playable. Champa, I think, is absolutely not. Like is actually horrendous.
I think Champa has the better engine from the set. I think a lot of the U6 cards are better. Like the Frost Engine's really strong, the hit's really strong. But I kind of agree. Like the fact that you're at 5 life makes it that really awkward number.
Yeah,
Ryan,
because
this
at
is
least
what happens when you leave the color out of the list. By the way, we just start talking about it.
I know. You guys are getting ahead of yourself. Let's just hold on for a second. I just finished making sure that everybody's video is okay. So today, again, we got everybody here. Most people, we don't have Jaden, and we don't have Brandon, which I don't even know what.
Are
what
we ever gonna get him?
I really don't know where Brandon is.
It's like
Right?
dipped out.
It's funny. you can
He'll
literally-
just
yeah.
he'll message every month, like one of my Facebook posts. He'll be like, "Dope." That's it, and then I'll see him next month. Like,
Yeah, he literally just does that. He just messages or posts something. It's like, oh, this is dope. I was like, well, I'm
Yeah.
glad you're keeping up the game, I guess. Missing Joel.
Been
Don't know
Joel.
where he is. I see Joel though.
Living life in Florida.
He really
Hoping
is.
he's surviving.
Yeah, if he,
Yeah,
his Facebook
ever
page.
since
Yeah, that's all I
PPG
keep up
went
with.
heavy on like Digimon, he like kind of backed off of Dragon Ball.
Yeah, and also his locals, I guess, which is PPG, hasn't been the best, so it makes sense. But we have myself, we have George, Hayden, Rob, and Devin. Which Rob, I think your thing is supposed to say your username. So let me
His
Yeah,
username, and you put it
I'm
in
the
Rob, I
only
noticed
one.
it. I noticed that, but I didn't say anything.
Yeah, I was like, I'm looking and I'm like, all right, well, that's cool. Hi,
It's
guys.
fixed. It's
Thanks.
fixed. It's
Thanks,
fixed.
thanks.
I had it ready. It was always like that.
Sandy.
Yep, it was
Sandy's
nice.
in
Yep.
chat.
Sandy.
Sandy's in the
Andy.
chat. That's great.
Oh,
Wow.
perfect. All right,
Love
good.
it, love it. So we're gonna go through, like I said, set 16. So we're gonna go through the multicolors first. Red. We'll probably throw in green right after black, yellow, and blue. So basically, hopefully, we'll go around the table, and I'll go through the Facebook page or the DBS website, and you guys can kind of see that too and follow along. But a couple sentences, just a couple sentences. Hopefully, nothing too crazy. Get everybody's opinion on everything, and then top 3 set 16 leaders or cards, doesn't matter which ones. The ban list errata predictions, so that's going to be coming up probably end of this month if I had to take a guess. The set got pushed back in March, for those who don't know. I think it's March, first week of March, I think.
I think it's like
It was
March
supposed to be
7th is
what?
pre-release.
Was it supposed to be February before that? Was that it?
I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, so we'll probably get the ban list probably within the next week or so because they don't have a whole lot left to reveal, right?
Yeah.
Just the
I think
yellow, I
the
think.
best leader, the Zamasu wish leader.
Yeah.
Like,
That
why
I'm
did that
excited
one
to
last?
see. I think that'll be interesting because I think depending on what that does, because with all the new yellow support, that kind of tickles into the ban list talk, but
Yeah.
they're gonna be interesting.
Do we know if his awakened side is just Zamasu? If there's like a Goku Black in there?
No, it
They
looks
ha-
like they are one character name per side, based on only the images. So we don't know.
So like the awakened side would be like Goku Black. Is that it?
Correct. And
Because like
assume
I'm just
so, yeah.
saying, because I'm saying Goku Black is a yellow Saiyan.
It is.
Correct.
It really
That's
is.
that's where I was kind
Oh,
of leaning towards. You have, I mean, on top of it being a yellow leader, you can now get turtles with that. Like,
Mhm.
Yeah. We'll see.
there's a lot you can do with it.
Save the talk. And then last one is going to be once, and I put not once. You guys see that? If someone in the chat can tell me what the opposite of once is, so that way I can put it on the agenda for next time, let me know.
We could have easily just Googled
Shut up.
antonyms for
Shut
once.
up.
Man, I
But,
shut
you
up
know.
like 8 words, and you just ignored me. So
Well,
here
wait,
we
We
are.
don't.
mean-
We don't listen to you.
I clearly,
What? It didn't
I
make
was
any sense.
wrong.
Those
I wasn't
words-
even. Everyone else.
You were.
The
You
words didn't make
were.
sense.
Right.
You gave like contrarian, like I don't know, contrary. You put contrary. I don't
It
listen.
was the
How-
opposite of one.
All
I
right.
mean,
anyways.
isn't the opposite of a singular attempt infinite attempts?
Anyways, so
Canada. Seriously.
Anyway, so what you want to see and what you don't want to see in 2022, and then that'll be the end of it. So okay, anyway, let me go ahead and set it up where we can take a look at the first one, which is the multicolor stuff. I I've been playing it recently. I don't know if you guys been playing anything on Untap or just in general.
Man, this
Nope.
guy's not following my streams. What a
I did
sad.
see yours. I literally was in your
Okay.
stream,
right.
giving you suggestions. You didn't play 2-drop Goku Black, and I was like, "You're a nutcase for not doing that."
It is a 4 in the deck now. Don't worry.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Yes.
So let me pull it up a little bit. Here we go. Let's transition.
Position.
And
I don't know if that's where you want to break up the word.
transition.
Transition.
Okay, he's trying to get canceled. He's trying to get canceled.
I'm trying to delay while I get it up. I'm trying to delay while I get it up. Yes, that is what I said.
You're still looking for synonyms for not once. I can tell. You're just like, oh,
Yes,
something.
sir. Here we go. So let's go look at good old Realm of Gods. I'm super happy that it's a god theme, by the way. I haven't mentioned that. But for the multicolor stuff, which is it really? Oh.
How could is there even like I guess it's all at the end, but you can probably just look by skill energy exhaust maybe. You want to be smart about it.
True. I don't know if I'll oh yeah, I guess it would.
I mean, you could just go on Deck Planet, search up based on the set, right? And then you could just go from there.
Yeah. Well, I just like to scroll through, I guess. But
Okay, that's fine.
yeah. I mean, this doesn't really include the leader. The leader is the Great Priest, right? So, my few
That should be
sentences.
Okay.
Well, here, I'll start with this, and then we'll go down the line through George and everyone else. Okay. So, because it's gonna take like 2 hours just to talk about one color, I'm sure. The thing about Great Priest is that it is a good leader with a lot of cool tools, but the two main things that draw it back is that it's not competitively viable when comparing to like literally every good deck. So like when you're talking about draw power, removal, and like versatility, it kind of just falls short a little bit. It just like you have options, it's just hard to get to those options. The other thing is that if they made like these cards either have an effect, or the leader card, the Great Priest, have an effect that says if your leader card is a Great Priest or whatever, reduces combo cost in your hand or something like that for certain conditions. Because like just having these 2 cost, 1 cost 5Ks and 1 cost 10Ks is just super bad. But the effects are great, and some of these like Kusu, fantastic in other decks. That's my take. George.
It's trash.
All right.
So here's the thing.
Keeping it real.
Here's the thing. The fact that the archetype lives within the realm of everything being a 2-drop means that it's susceptible to almost every kind of piece of removal in the game. I think the Grand Priest archetype was created to be able to create some of these cool multicolor generic cards that would fit in other decks. And then it kind of brings the set together thematically by just bringing us the rest of the archetype. But the way that the archetype was built is that you could tell that it was never meant to be coherent, because
Oh, did we lose George?
I think we literally lost George.
That can't.
Bandai
got him. Bandai got him.
Either Bandai or someone literally
Zeno
just
came
stepped
and
in.
snapped his ass.
They said no. They said absolutely not. All right.
We're talking smack.
Yeah.
Said, what the fuck you say?
Hayden,
All right.
how
My
about
turn.
you?
I think the deck's really good. Like, it's the best deck in the whole world. Nothing can beat
All
it.
right.
It's the best.
All right.
It is.
I
It
have-
is.
Okay.
Please
All right.
stop.
Okay. All right. My
I'll
bad.
teach you
Sorry.
to talk shit.
Let me just.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know why my internet does this thing where it decides to spike every time I'm actually doing something relevant.
Yeah, I think
I know,
we
it's
know,
just
and I think people in the world's new.
Okay. All right. Yeah. All right. So just to bring it back. Basically, you have an archetype that doesn't actually have a game plan. Like when we're talking about what the WinCon's trying to do, you kind of have this burn thing, but nothing really allows you to really push what the archetype's trying to do. So at the end of the day, I think the archetype just falls flat, and it just kind of exists to, 1, bring the set together thematically, and 2, be able to print cards like the blue-green angel that works really well in other decks. Because like Bro, like you look at some of these angels, there are 2 angels where their only skill is having energy exhaust, which automatically makes them worse than vanillas because it makes them not vanillas. Like it's just
Wait. Wait. Okay, I'll let you finish. They are vanillas if you're playing them in Great Priest.
do they all lose energy exhaust?
oh,
They lose energy exhaust in all areas.
in all areas.
Okay.
Nice. That's pretty cool.
Okay.
And
Which is
there's
unfortunate. Which is unfortunate though, because you can't play any non-god cards, so you can't really take advantage like Videl or.
So it doesn't matter.
No. The 1-drop Whist, the yellow 1-drop Whist can play them for free. There's other cards. There are,
Okay.
but
I can see that.
it's still bad.
Okay.
It's still bad.
Okay.
Is that in this set? I'll bring it up here.
No, it was
Yeah.
last.
No.
It was last 2 sets ago.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Oh, the
but yeah,
one
so
the yellow
that's-
Whist that came out.
That's just the thing. It doesn't feel like it was put together as an archetype that was meant to be played seriously. It's fun. It's thematic, but it's not like meant to actually do anything.
For sure. Okay. I will add to mine, by the way. I think while we were kind of talking mess about it, I think I did find the best lists that you can play. I know that's very.
You did watch my stream. Oh, that's so kind.
Shut up. No. I've been testing a blue-yellow variant that takes advantage of offering and the red-green offering card. And if you do those 2 things, you'll not only have a hand, but you also have aggression. And if anyone wants to see that in the stream, I'll make a list right now before I do the video next week or 2 weeks from now. But-
I am literally making a video for it tomorrow, but whatever. I'm not
Okay,
gonna...
mine's better.
People just happen. Oh,
Rob, unless Hayden, did you want to add anything?
Like
Well,
I kind of you.
Or did Hayden, did you even talk?
Sorry.
No.
Hayden got
Oh,
cut
yeah,
off by
there
George
we go.
coming
Oh,
back from
yeah,
Dreadnought
George.
Snap.
George literally, yeah. Okay.
all right. I'll keep it sweet and simple. Yeah, it doesn't have like a good game plan to end it, which really stinks about it. The best way to play it in my testing it has been blue-yellow, and that's less about the deck being good and more blue-yellow being really good. So I think that blue-yellow Beerus is broken. That can just win you the game on turn 2 so many times, and so that's my experience with it. But it is really fun because you can use the 1-drop Whist that also is blue. So play Whist turn 1, turn 2. You can play it for free, and then you can also, like, you charge a blue-yellow turn 1, turn 2, you charge a red-green, so you can awaken. The Whist untaps your leader, so you can draw some more cards, and you can swing with the Beers, get a free combo. Like, there's plays.
Yeah.
But that's very specific for something that doesn't draw a whole lot, and is kind of a one-trick pony on that archetype. So that's my experience with it.
I completely agree with you. Just to add on, I think that like when you start understanding what plays are available, and I think that's why it's so hard to build this deck in particular, because there's so much going on and there's so many colors. You really have to build like I built.
Oh, it's
probably 10
it's
different
that
versions.
Whist. It's that blue-yellow Whist.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
That's
okay.
Because it says, what does it say?
Card
It's a little
played
fuzzy
at
for me.
end of the battle with this card is using the combo in the hand, so the leader effect, and as well as it's a 1 cost, so the units can use it. You can add 1 skillless card, energy cost of 2 from your deck or drop area to your hand, and then shuffle your deck if it is, and it's a opponent's turn. You get to play a skillless battle card, energy cost of 2 from your hand, rest.
Yeah, so that can add any of the 2-drop skillless cards because they don't have energy exhaust and they can play it for free. So
yeah,
that's
very
okay.
good.
And
That's very
like turn 1, you can do this and get a 25k out for free, but
Nice.
it's still not great in my opinion. And also, heart take. I don't think the unison's good in the deck. I think it's just bad.
I've been very back and forth with it, and this is the thing. And I'm sorry, Rob and Dev, but the thing about it is that like when you start playing it, blue yellow is great for the deck and it's just good in general. And this support like this is great, but it's like you start doing those turns. You go turn 1, you do a 1-drop and you lead, right? Turn 2, you charge probably a blue yellow turn 1 and then red green turn 2, depending on what your deck looks like and what you have. That's just what I've been doing. And the 1-drop is usually the Whist. You play out the Beerus, you tap something down, you swing, and then you make him burn on life, and you swing the leader, you go to double strike, 16k. And then you awaken, you either do that again, or you do some other play. And then turn 3, you use the Unison to untap basically 1 using the Unison going aggressive, and then Whist or Vados will untap you another. And then you have Bean. So I think depending on how you play and how you sequence and how you see things, which the 1-drop waste kind of replaces any of the cantrips that you might play. I think it's pretty consistent, and you can kind of do that every game, but you have to get to that point, and that's where this leader kind of sucks ass, because if they aggro you down, or if they have a wide board that you can't take care of, then you kind of
Say
lose.
ass on this channel?
Yeah, I can
We
say
say
ass.
Okay, good. All right.
Because it's like a donkey.
Oh, okay. Damn,
Mhm.
like a
Mhm.
beaver. See, we can go back and forth.
Rob.
I don't think the leader's weird. I think what the archetype needs is almost kind of like what AOD has with the Babidi to reduce combo cost, even if it's just by 1. Because the leader only lets you free combo once when you put it in rest mode, correct? If
Yes.
I'm remembering that correctly. So
Mhm.
you're stuck with all these 1 and 2 drop 10Ks in hand that you can't really combo with.
Mhm.
I don't know. It just seems super clunky. You don't really draw that much. Like you guys had mentioned previously, you have cool, cute interactions, but is it really gonna be worth it?
Yeah.
Like you just need some sort of way to help reward you for playing. Like I said, you go through and look at how many of these are like 2 cost 10Ks, 1 cost 10Ks, 1 cost 5Ks. Just any sort of like I said, if it was like a 1-drop Babidi with barrier, and if your leader is Grand Priest, you reduce the cost of all gods, but for your combo by 1. It makes it a little bit more viable. It gives you a little bit more defensive options. You can't really get rewarded for being aggressive with it, because everything else on at that point is still 2 energy to be aggressive, correct? Because I think like the Martini,
Mhm.
the Conic, and stuff like that, you still have to pay 1 to put them into play.
Yeah.
So it's like...
See, that's where, just to kind of add on, for one, a spectate does untap your leader. So it doesn't negate the attack, but you kind of don't want to negate anyway, because you want to get to the combo step. So if you know that they're swinging at your leader, or if they're swinging at your battle card, then you want to get to the combo step anyway and get that extra draw. So you're replacing this with the draw, and then you're using Whis or Vados to untap something, or to punish them using one of the cards you mentioned, or like Kusu to make them bottom deck 1 or drop 1. So you're being rewarded kind of, and this is the problem that I have with archetypal decks in this game, is that you can master a deck, yes. For instance, like Android 16 is great, but at a certain point you hit that ceiling, and you're like, okay, is this exactly what this deck can do? And is this the most the deck can do? And that's kind of disheartening, because I really like seeing the variety, and I like people, thinking outside the box. And I don't know if people will do that with this deck.
Mm-hmm.
But, yeah.
Yeah. Well,
What?
it just occurred to me that Goku striving to be the best is a card. Do you just auto win if you drop that against his deck?
Yeah.
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 Yes. Also, the 1-drop Kai counterplay.
Yeah, I don't think the 1-drop Kai and as well as driving is kind of annoying. I don't think there's really too much barrier removal, and that's another thing for this. It's not really barrier removal and like board removal outside of the Kai secret.
It seems like they took the concept they did for SS4 Bardock, and like that deck at least is viable. But it's like they took that concept and then just were like,
Who said
gods.
air? Who said air?
That was probably George, if I had to take a guess.
What? I think it's super viable. I was super about it. What do you mean?
Look how defensive he's getting in. It's definitely George.
There's somebody go.
It did win an online tournament, so there's that, which is nice.
My take on it, I'll say
Devin just gonna throw his.
the Bears 2-drop cool.
Yeah,
It is not technically part of the archetype, but yeah, there he is.
That's
it
it.
carries it. Yeah.
That's all. I got listen. I don't think I'm gonna have to agree with Brian, because like I feel like they made it, or not Brian. It was George. With the intent for it to just be like hey, this is the main theme of the set that we wanted to go with. Haha, this is Realm of Gods, and Grand Priest is it's like that. Pretty much the main god underneath Zeno. So like. It's like they're
Well, he's an angel.
What's the best?
But yes.
Well, whatever. They're still gods. Shut up. Anyways, yeah, he's just like that main theme of the set that people like. They wanted people to like drawing like this is the realm of gods, but like it doesn't seem like it's supposed to be a playable deck. It's supposed to be something that, you know, if you want to have some fun at locals and just fuck around, or sorry, mess around,
Jeez.
then you can pick up the deck and mess around with it. But for the most part, I don't think it's very good. Like you said, striving to be the best kind of just ruins this deck, and like you can't do anything about it because there's no barrier removal.
Not that I know of.
Yeah.
I do agree with George that a lot of this stuff is like it's splashable in other colors or in other decks, like you guys both did mention.
Yeah,
Mhm.
Yeah.
the
Kusu's super good.
The Bears is good. I like that card, but that's like the only thing I care to like in that whole archetype, because the rest of it's not great.
Marcerita's pretty good too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good card. Barrier removal
They're
or
the-
barrier blocker, yeah.
Yeah, like
Dude.
that's the thing. It has some solid stuff. It's just it's selective, right? Like
Also, this effect,
Generic.
we'll talk about it in yellow, but this effect right here is definitely a game changer because I love these
yes.
effects where they play something and you get to switch on the rest mode.
It's a little bonkers.
It's like poutine, obviously, but
Yeah, I think Poutine's going to go away.
Yellow Jerry.
Yeah, well, I think
for
that's
free.
I think that's a big theme about this set. We are getting bootleg versions of cards we already have because I think we're going to lose them.
yeah, probably.
We're about to get a big ban list.
We will
Poutine
talk
about
about
to
it.
go
We will I don't know
bye.
about big.
Yeah, we're gonna
but-
talk. We're gonna talk about it.
Very
But yeah, so
specific.
just so last thought as far as the Grand Priest goes, I think it's just that it's a shame that they didn't, because like we already had a angel-esque strategy very early on that was like god ramp. So like basically the idea was to play a bunch of gods onto your board, and then you would have Grand Priest cards that would put them into your energy. And it just felt like this could have been a good opportunity to fully commit to that archetype, and then they didn't, which I think is a bit of a shame. So
I do, like I said, if there would have been a way to reduce the combo, I feel like something like this and like the Zeno leader would have been interesting.
Sure,
yeah.
we can see that.
I think they definitely need to reboot the old super box. What is it called? Collection.
what's the-
Ultimate
Ultimate box.
Ultimate box, yeah.
You need to reprint that later and just let you use unisons and extra cards and then see what happens.
Mm.
Yeah.
I think Zeno could be slightly viable if you give it unison and extra cards.
Yeah.
Another hot take.
Oh, it's just every single time we go back into TOP, like it gets literally the entire set of support, which is crazy.
Yeah.
So
Yep.
yeah.
When did the Ultimate Box come out? That's the real question.
Like
2018.
2018.
Yeah, like basically a few months after I got into the game.
Yeah.
I always think
Wow.
like, there's no more cars to be made, but then I always think it's been like 3 or 4 years. They can just reboot literally everything and be
Yeah.
okay. Man, that's crazy.
Yeah, it's
True.
a
That's
black
true.
leader, so it's on the other side. Yeah.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, I was just going through them.
Yeah, you're fine.
So
Okay.
so can we talk about this Gogeta now?
Well, before we do that, bust or winner for multicolor. I'm guessing is a bust for everyone.
Bus.
Everything except for blue yellow.
Cool. All right, and I think
Per usual.
the
Yeah.
chat
Yup.
is
Cool
pretty much
cards.
there too.
Yeah, a couple cool
I'm a-
cards, but the archetype.
Archetype is definitely a bust. I think multicolor in general, though, I think it's a winner. I think you get enough support for these different multicolors to kind of slowly start putting multicolor back into the meta. Where as they kind of switched out of it from like set 8, set 9, and started pushing these monocolors again.
Yeah.
This is kind of revamping a lot more of your multicolor. I'll be the only person calling it. I think it's a win only because of the fact that I think it gives support to those different colors now, to where you can start seeing different like you'll start seeing more yellow green decks popping up. You'll start seeing
Will you though?
some of, like you guys had mentioned, some of
Usu's a
these
good card.
cards some of these
Usu's a
cards
good card.
are really solid for their color combination, but they're not necessarily like the deck itself. Yes, I think it's a bust. They need to do something different with the leader.
Yeah.
However, I think multicolor got a huge bump out of this. I think it's a win for multicolor.
This card's broken anyway, so I don't know about you guys. This card's broken.
Yeah.
The
That one and the offering for one
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
That
that
one's
card.
broken.
That card's
This
that
is
card's a little
broken.
nuts.
This is the
Oh,
whole, like
so you got-
those two
yeah,
cards are
see?
the reason why I built the deck in the first place. But yeah, no, I agree, Rob. I think, you know, like we keep mentioning Kusu and Marcelina and a few others, and I think it just really depends on, you know, where multicolor kind of lands in the next few formats.
Yeah, it depends on what they do with it. You know what I mean? Like I said,
Yeah.
I personally, I'll take the lone call on it. I think think it's a winner.
I will
Yeah,
be
you
with-
got that one.
I will.
That's all you.
I will be with you in the way of that. Great Priest is a fantastic archetype for the set itself. So if you wanted to build a cool archetype for the set, you did it, Bandai. You did great. The thing is that when you're talking about a competitive or like playable sense, it is going to be very difficult to convince people that. And I'm definitely on both sides, if anything. One of these days, I will. You can clip me here. I will top with Great Priest, probably in a webcam. So.
Someone clip that right now. Someone clip that right now.
Oh,
bro, Great Priest is fun.
George's face.
Let's talk about red before we get
Whoa.
to anything else.
This made crazy.
I will.
Yeah, I'm tired.
Let's talk about red. My first, obviously, we already talked about Great Priest. He's a red leader, but figuratively, he's pretty much a multicolor leader.
yeah.
And
Goku.
So this guy, few sentences. This guy is the best red leader we've seen in a long time. And it's because of it. I'm telling you right now, it is one of the best leaders that we had, simply because of the red support that he has right now. I can't, outside of King Piccolo and now, which by the way doesn't count, King Vegeta doesn't count. Because it's banned.
There we go.
Because they're not red
See,
anymore.
that's the thing that you have to say.
King
It's like
Vegeta's banned, or not banned, but errata, and then it's not really playable. And when we're looking at red cards and red leaders, Red Goku should be on your list to look at. That is my take, and my take as far as pretty much the rest of the support, because everything that's in here supports like the 1-drop Gohan with the new 2 drops. Obviously is just targets for like fusion if you wanted to do that. This Vegeta is broken. This is pretty broken. This is kind of ass. This is broken. Like everything that this deck has, it has great tools, and red just needed something to go wide and to finish the game. Those are the two things that red kind of needed. It has it in this deck, and everything that goes with it, like the support that has like violent rays and stuff like that, goes awesome with it. That's it.
Gohan's a better leader for this U7 engine.
nope, incorrect.
I don't know about that.
That
But
is
Do
I-
incorrect.
you want to start at the bottom and go back up this time? To like switch it up so we don't.
Yeah.
Well, no, because that'd be last
I
to
don't
talk about Trunks.
Okay.
Yeah, who cares?
Nice.
I want to
Devin.
talk about Trunks.
Devin, what's up? How you feel about it?
Okay, so my take on the Goku deck, I actually think it's really good, because of the, like you said, it goes wide really fast. It's really fast actually. Like it won't finish the game early, but it'll get a board that's hard to clear early, and they're big. They're not like small. They're like big bodies, so you can't just easily get rid of them, right? So like, not to mention like the leader itself isn't like crazy strong, but the support that it got definitely made up for like the leader not being super strong, right? Burst sucks, obviously, you know, having the burst cards into your drop areas, like whatever, but it works out because like you need the cards in the drop for it, you know, most of your deck to work, blah blah blah. The unison they gave the deck sucks. You definitely just play Piccolo Jr.
Yeah, I don't know about this one, man.
The unison is just bad. Like, why would you ever play anything that's other than Piccolo Jr. here, unless you play like Jiren or some shit? Or
not
and
to
like,
cut, yeah, not to cut you off as far as your turn. I think the idea is to play both. It's just to play Piccolo first and then out here to draw one. And then
I mean, I just don't see why you would ever just get rid of Piccolo at that point. Like, just keep Piccolo on board.
Yeah.
But, yeah. Other than that, I think the deck works how it's essentially tried or kind of wanted King Vegeta to be, where it's like they want you to be able to play some bodies on board for like cheap energy or like or like go wide, like be able to do stuff in red, but not be like overtuned. But then they went wrong with King Vegeta because then it was red and you could put a bunch of bodies on board for low energy, and then Tao and what's called it existed. So
Yeah.
But overall, I think they did a great job with this deck. Like I think it's like you said, it's one of the best red leader / like decks we've gotten in a while. And it's all off the like this set. Not like it's not like like old cards making it good or anything like that. It's just off the cards that they made this set that made it really good.
And oh, by the way, that's me loving Jiren, by the way. And I've played Jiren enough to break, and I've played it enough to kind of lose to matchups that I just felt bad. So, and Eunice being reliant on the Unison is just annoying.
Yeah, in comparison to like the main red decks that we've gotten in the last few sets, this would probably be third on the list, underneath King Piccolo and King Vegeta, obviously. But
yeah, sounds about right.
I like it.
Yeah.
I still say with my statement, like the leader's cool. I still think for the U7 engine in general, I think the Gohan leader is better. The only thing that I don't think you get is the Sign of Mastery Goku, the counterplay. But everything else just says Mono Red Universe 7 leader. I think Gohan for the archetype is just better. But
yeah, but you only get sparking 5 and 7 starting on like your turn 3, 4, which means your bodies aren't getting out early.
Exactly. That's why I say this would be a better leader, just because you won't get any of your sparking effects until like later in the game, which at that point is like it's a little late.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't know. Again, hot take. I'm gonna be honest. I like besides reading the set that's come out so far, like spoiler wise, I haven't tested a whole lot of the new stuff. So this is all just hypothetical and what goes on up here. So I could be wrong on that, but just kind of going off of looking at the engine and stuff like that. I like the leader is not bad by any means. I think U7 Gohan takes advantage more of different utility cards that the Goku couldn't play, and the new stuff is I don't know. I usually don't play red though either, so I could see it wrong.
There you go.
Don't listen to the non.
We're not trying to stray you away from your opinion. You're very much welcome to it. I was just trying to provide a counterpoint to it. That's all.
I get it. Like so with Gohan, right? Like
to make a list. It's okay. And then
like
share
with
the world.
Gohan, like you're gonna keep comboing each turn, so that way you get your draw and cycle. So like you're still gonna fill up your draw fairly quick. It's obviously not gonna be as quick as leader because the leader bursts on the front side, correct?
Yeah, and you burst on the backside, just optional.
Okay. Yeah, that's just my hot take, but I've been wrong.
You're fine.
With plenty, so.
I think one thing to mention, whether you're playing that leader or this leader, but both of these cards are great. I like these cards. Every one drop that they've introduced as a rare, is very useful. Actually, I think these should be considered as like a 1 or 2 of in most decks, just simply because like if you're playing monocolored, you should just consider it. Especially
that whole cycle is really cool.
Yeah, if you have 48, 49, like these are great cards to kind of consider. Plus, it's a cool sideboard card for effects like these, to minus 30 something more than energy. So like
I agree.
Like Gogeta.deck, great card to put in. I mean, let's be honest. There's 30 cards that are Gogeta deck, and it's not very hard to build. So let's not.
Wow.
Like, there's a Unga Bunga thing going on right now. You've had that going for 20 something years. And Gogeta is just another thing. Just to let you know, Dev. Hayden.
It's a 2019 deck, and by that I mean you wait until turn 4 and then you play your boss monster. That's all my experience with it. Just that you play your things for cheap, you get like a little aggressive, you put a little pressure on your opponent, and then they either beat your whatever 8 drop Goku, whatever he is,
Yeah.
the Fleck Double Strike Dual Attack boy that rips a card from hand. Either you can have an out for that, or you lose. That is my entire experience.
He is a very good card.
There's not that many
Additionally,
outs. Yeah.
what the Sparking 7 or the Sparking 20 effect? It doesn't have to be a battle card, right? It's literally any
Right.
card with 7 costs.
Anything
Yes, right?
7
That
or
is
less.
correct.
Yeah.
Yeah. So just all that makes it feel very good in my mind, in the sense that I think it's a deck that people will have to, in the very least, will be a gatekeeper, in the sense you have to be able to have a matchup that beats this card, or you lose.
I can see that.
The-
Like blue yellow.
The card
obviously
is really,
awesome.
really strong.
Yeah.
Totally.
I think the Flex better than Barrier right now. So
Oh, of course.
100%.
100%. 100%.
George? Are you?
My biggest take, so you guys know I'm a U7 stand. I think the leader's garbage. Primarily because the best thing about the leader is just that it happens to be a U7 leader that bursts. That's the best thing it does. Cool, you can draw uninteractive, but at the end of the day, the leader doesn't inherently do anything. What makes the leader good is the fact that the archetype actually makes sense with it, right? Yep. But like the leader
the point.
doesn't make the deck. It's the archetype that makes the leader. You know. So like,
That's
so like I think. No, I understand that the archetype was built around that sense, and you could say like, yeah, well, any leader only works because it was written the way it was. But like, it just generally, the archetype isn't successful because of anything the leader does outside of just the fact that the leader bursts, right? And he happens to be a U7. He doesn't do anything that's inherently interesting, but the archetype's super cracked. Like the archetype is gonna be tier 1. Like I think it's 100% gonna be a gatekeep archetype, just like Egg was saying. It's very aggressive, but it also has fantastic mid-range options, especially since Red for a while has had great mid-range options. It's just Red has always had the trouble of closing, and now the deck has very powerful ways of closing. The secret rare is absolutely insane, and the leader, the best part about the leader probably being one, that it bursts, and two, that you can at the end of the game be able to get the boss monster that you'll need to close out the game. And you're also not
anything.
I hate that you can't overwhelm. I hate that.
And yeah, it obviously sucks, but like at the end of the day, like
Gohan's better.
Can we shut him up?
I
So-
I think you saying that, George, is like saying King Piccolo is a shitty leader. Like that's because there's not one thing without the other. You know, you kind of
Well,
see
that's
it
not
as
true because King Piccolo's deck only works underneath the leader. Because
No, but
Well,
Well,
I
that-
see that. I
basically-
see that. But it works best under those conditions.
yeah,
I guess.
obviously, but like I guess the biggest thing I could say is just like some archetypes are great because of their leader, some archetypes are great because of the archetype, and this is one of those situations where the archetype's great because of the archetype, and the
Yeah.
leader is an enabler, but the leader himself, like you could, if you had like any leader that could do something, but just like see as many cards as him and throw him in the trash, then like it would probably pick that over this, because he
yeah.
literally like I guess my biggest thing I guess is just that he's boring. He's literally just
I think that's
a
what it
leader
is.
that has a he's a leader
think
that
that's
has
what
a
it is.
U7 tag. He has a U7 tag, and he says burst 3, and that's it. Like that's all the leader does.
I can see that. That's true.
He is
I
boring.
I agree.
He
He's
is boring.
boring. He doesn't do anything crazy. He just enables the deck. That's
He is
just all
efficient.
it is.
Yeah.
He is boring and efficient. Is what I
Yeah,
should
that's the
say.
thing. Like it. What he is feels like what a lot of archetypes have their like 1-drops do. Like for Gohan, the enabler isn't so much the leader as it's the 1-drop, right? Like it just feels like the enabler is built into the leader, and then they said, okay, that's what the leader is. So I guess like it's just that's just how I feel about it. But in general, the archetype's gonna be super strong. It's gonna be tier 1. It's finally gonna put Red on the map. So
I agree. Well, again, sorry.
can
Let's
see
put it on the map again. Let's put that tag on there.
Wait,
yeah, like I'm not saying Red was never out there. But like it's gonna be playable again, you know?
true.
it's like on the corner of the map.
I
You
don't,
know,
right.
if you put your thumb over it by accident sometimes when opening the map,
This one.
it's right over there. You just gotta move your thumb.
You just gotta move your thumb. Yeah.
What the?
But I will say, I do actually think the Goku is the best leader for the strat. You know, there's a lot of reasons you could say Gohan, and like I'm totally down to have that conversation. But I think when you compare between the two, he's the best lead.
How did
do
you-
agree with that? I don't know.
How did you decide the order of these colors? You went multicolored red, and then you skipped to black, and then yellow, and then like
What happened?
that makes no sense.
What? We're going
Why'd
through
you
the
do
order.
that?
Multicolors. We're talking about red now, and then. Black.
Yeah, the order is red, blue, green, yellow, black, multicolor based on set number.
Oh.
You went multicolored red, skipped all the way to black, went back to yellow,
green
back
on.
out again to blue, and
even
then
put
missed
green.
green. I don't even know where that's at. Like,
So yeah, we are Universe 7. That I mean, this card is just cracked in the deck, man. You just get literally anything back. I mean,
Yeah, that's a good segue. Yep. Mhm.
anyway, so
Are we done here? Or are you gonna give your take on it?
I already did. Oh no,
He opened with his take.
I opened
Hello?
my take. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I opened my take.
All right, whatever. Next, the best leader in the whole set.
by the way, real quick, if we
How
want
do we beat
Eggman
this
for the
game?
entire time, we gotta not spend an hour on each one of these colors.
I'm trying.
I don't know if that's a plus or minus. If you guys want to drag it out and I don't get to talk about my favorite colors, that's fine. But I'm just letting you know.
Yeah, we don't need to hear that. Anyways,
That's fine.
so Trunks.
I guess Dev is just gonna go ahead and open it up.
I'll have nothing to say about black because I haven't played any of this deck, so I'll skip it this time.
There's not much to it, man.
Yeah.
That's why Devin is all over it.
That's
Yep.
right. Trunks is great. If they hit Gogeta, this is next. Let's go.
I mean, how can they really hit Vegeta though? Because
I don't know. I've been arguing this for like the last week. And Rob can attest. I literally been arguing it all week. It's like, what do you hit? You hit it like some people said, send up to 3 instead of 5. I'm like, okay, I could just get 2 less cards in my warp that I don't want in there. Oh, okay. Oh no. You hit
could ban thwarting.
right? It still survives without thwarting. Oh no. What do you? Yeah.
You make
anyway.
thwarting 2 energy.
Well, the idea of a ban should always be balancing power, not so much just getting rid of it, right? Like if banning thwarting makes a deck playable, but not feel like you're facing a 20 or 25k double strike turn 1, there's a discussion to be had there.
I think if you make, I think if you, we kind of talked about it, if you make thwarting like your opponent has to have 2 or more energy, then it becomes fine.
Yeah.
let's save that for the ban list.
Anyways,
Sorry.
oh Trunks, it's literally just Gogeta that doesn't have to attack. It's great.
Yeah.
And you don't have to take life.
I mean, you do have the tech here, but yeah, I understand what you're saying.
Okay. Yeah. So you can awaken turn 2 if you feel like it, if you hit the correct cards. The unison's actually pretty good for the deck. You get to search for your super combos instead of just fucking warping them like Gogeta does. And you get the access to Topo with Pan. You get access to you get it with both, but Black got the new blocker negate, so now Black has a blocker negate now. Sick.
Vegix still couldn't play for the record.
Magic still can't play it. Unfortunate.
No.
Yeah, it's so funny.
You have access to the Poutine 3-drops SR. That card is snapped.
Thanks.
And yeah, I mean, I think overall, I think Trunks is good. It's obviously not. And the 5-drop Trunks. I forgot all about that. That card is ridiculous. I think if Gogeta didn't exist, this would probably be the best black deck to play. But Gogeta exists. There you go.
Cool. Rob?
I haven't really touched any of the new black stuff. The Trunks leader is really cool. I think it's interesting. I kind of agree with Devin. If Gogeta wasn't around and or gets hit, I think Trunks becomes the new replacement for it. The 3-drop Poutine's snapped. The extra card you get the blocker is really strong for it. The 5-drop Trunks is really, really strong. Other than that, I feel like it's just kind of your normal generic black support. But this Poutine's insane.
I like it.
The Poutine's so good.
I think it's cheap. It's cool. It's energizes. All right. Hayden,
Just
you didn't
deck.
really have too much to talk about, right?
Yeah, I'll utter a dangerous phrase. I trust and agree with Devin's opinion.
Oh no. Okay,
Oh.
moving on.
Oh.
George, save us, please.
As far as Trunks goes, they printed the leader. The leader's super good. Power Awakened is a good SR. It's a very solid piece. The rest of the archetype kind of doesn't really matter because it's not relevant because there's already the power of all the other good Black Stain stuff. So as far as Trunks goes, good leader, good SR. Rest of the archetype's kind of whatever. If we're looking at Deborah's a meme. His archetype's a meme. But what it did do was give us was a couple of very cool black cards. If anything, by far, I think the best card that Black got was that reinforcement negate, and that's it. The rest of the stuff is cute. You got poutine and all that stuff. But like, and like, I don't actually mind that Black doesn't do anything amazing to set. There's some you can add some variety to how Black decks have played now that they have another good Black Stain leader they could choose. But for the most part, the reinforcement negates the only real thing that mattered that we got, in my opinion.
Cool.
You kind of said the Burrow's a meme. I guess we can kind of go back to that. It gave Sherman salsa support.
Anyways,
okay.
we are not going there.
Okay.
I know George has the nightmare of going, was it 0-4 or 0-5 in your 3
Bro,
minutes?
that shit cost me $1.
Get wrecked. Okay. Closing out Black.
Listen, I'm the Sherman salsa believer. I think the deck was
no more Sherman salsa.
Okay, fine.
Banned. All of it's banned.
Banned.
So wrapping up Black. So the thing, here's the thing. So Trunks is great. I don't know how they would touch Gogeta as the Gogeta.deck. The only thing I can really think of is just making it's probably just gonna be another video for me, but making the thwarting playable turn 3 and past that. That's pretty much it. Everything else that it has specific to itself, even though it's not really that specific, like this, the dual attacker deflect,
Card's so good.
getting things into your drops so you can get overwhelm and things that are specific to it. This card is pretty cool as well. The unison that's with it is actually pretty cracked, I would say. Simply because it's not very hard to get rid of. When you start playing it, the Kai, and you start doing things that are kind of catered to the deck itself, and as well as Kai, she just never goes anywhere else. Which is why
Bandai put color costs on this thing, because
it's too specific. I think is good, but I mean the main effect is for Trunks, so which is why that's that. And then of course Mecha Deborah. So Deborah is a meme, by the way, but I got bodied by this deck about a week ago, and they literally got 7 bodies on turn 2, and I just kind of blinked and didn't really know what was going on, and I wasn't playing red or yellow, so I kind of just died. So if you ever run into a Deborah player and they turn to you, good luck. That's it. This requires, like, in my opinion, this requires probably a little bit of study to understand the deck and to get the support, because it uses Super Salsa stuff, it uses some of the new Black stuff, and abuses the unison. So yeah.
Listen, I'm gonna make an updated list for Sherman salsa.
We don't care.
Right.
Next color.
Winner, I'm guessing, is for Black. Is what I'm going.
100%.
Yes.
It's fine. Yeah.
Winner.
Literally no satisfying you. I think.
Yeah, exactly. There's no invoker stuff. No invoker stuff. Oh man,
Red
lost.
Red is a winner. I would agree with that. And like Black was like, okay, like I don't think it's amazing, but I don't think Black needed to be amazing. Being okay is good for that color right now, so it's fine.
We're talking about in a vacuum.
Being okay, it should be
in a vacuum.
Great stuff.
If we're in a vacuum, it's no good. If we're talking in the context of the fact that like other cards exist, then yeah, Black is good.
He just like want the most broken side. I don't understand. I
didn't say I want the most broken things. I'm just saying.
He just wants invoker to be broken.
What do you want?
I want catastrophic blow, okay?
These colors have been shown.
He wants uninteractable winning.
Server mute. Okay.
Interactable win cons.
Green.
I want a blue-red unison that has invoker and.
Okay, there he goes. All right. Anyway, green. So Beerus and Champa Don't play these decks. These are terrible. I love both of these leaders. They are terrible. Do not play these decks. I'm telling you right now, do not play these decks. They're terrible. Everything else is okay.
Hey, George? George?
Okay. Let me give it a better chance. These decks would be fantastic if it had a way to get a hand size, if it had a way to not be very linear, and that's pretty much it, actually. I mean, everything else is okay in its support. Some of the cool things like Hit is really cool and an awesome card that they introduced. The Piccolo is cool because you get critical, and this Kaioken is awesome. But I can't really think of really anything else. Like Nameless is an awesomely designed card. The execution is terrible. The extra card is awesome. And that's pretty much it. That's my take on that.
Yep.
I think Champa's bad. I think Beerus is actually playable. And I think the decks are most playable if you kind of just ignore the field card strategy and you build it like blue-green or something like that. I think at that point you maximize the fact that your leaders are 15 and 20k respectively, and you can actually go for a very solid mid-range plan. Beerus is more playable because he starts at 4 and his Awakens at 3. So not only do you get your Awakens turn 1, your super combos turn 1, but your life total is in a spot where you can actually play the game. And Beerus has the benefit that his side of the archetype gives you hand destruction whenever you do something, which mitigates the fact that your opponent gets to out advantage you based on the fact that you're like drawing him cards by taking down his life and stuff like that. Whereas Champa's entire archetype, the U6 stuff, is all based around tempo. And I think that's actually worse off when you consider that not only does he start at the worst life total, he awakens at the second worst life total. Between 5 and 2. So he can't use super combos early, which means his protections early is really bad, which means you can get him to 3. When he gets to 3, he can't even awaken yet. And then even further, the rest of the archetype doesn't really help him. I will say the SRs are super strong. They're super good. They can go in any green deck, which is awesome. And the fun thing is that the U7s can be used in the U6 deck as far as the SRs go, and Hit can be used in the U7 deck. So at least there's that. I think the concepts are cool. I think Beerus could be played in a very interesting way. I think Champa's not there.
Hayden?
Yeah, they're missing something. I think here's my mind read. I think they're going to make some more 1 and 2 drops in the tournament promos packs that are going to make this a little bit more viable. Just based on my own testing, I felt like if you don't see those 1 or 2 drops, you just lose turn 1 a lot of the time. What I really would want would just be more 1-drop green Universe 7s. Because it feels really good to say, turn 1, you just play, I don't know, like you really only have the what is it? Minosha? What's the name of the 1-drop dude who kills Hit?
Manaka.
Yeah, so like Manaka is fine, it draws you a card, but then turn 2 you can play Bardock, you can pop the 1-drop, it clears your board, so you can swing with your leader, or use your leader skill again, play a 2-drop for free, and get all that stuff. I think that's fine, and I don't think the deck would be broken if you started the field card in the battle area either. I don't know why they didn't do it. It feels like there's too much. Like the unisons.
That was an L.
Yeah, the unisons are terrible. Like I don't like they do like the only thing that they do is play the field card, and then once you play it once, like what? Okay, yeah, sure. I'll get rid of my Deborah to play a Whis to also make my opponent drop 1. Like it's I don't know, like it's all of that's bad. All of it doesn't seem to like function.
That was an L, definitely. Also, I find it funny that Manaka is a 1 for power, and Beerus can tap him down in the blue yellow bears and kill him because it's 6/16 to 1. I've done that to someone on Untap, and they were like, "Oh, he's a 1." He's a 1 power? Oh, yeah. Like, do you want to combo out of that? Go ahead.
Double super combos turn 1. That's what you look 4 lives for.
Oh, true, actually.
Yeah.
Big true. Rob.
They're okay. Archetype wise.
Yo, this art's amazing. Sorry, Rob. All right, go ahead.
That's right. Archetypes, meh. The Kaioken Goku's cracked. The card's so good. And just green decks in general. It's like this set gave green a lot of generic support in a sense with the Goku, the Hit. Vegeta's
all right.
It's like the archetypes. I like the Goku. I like the hit. Manaka's just funny. It's memes. Um, I still kind of like Champa, only because I like the engine better. But I do kind of agree with what George was saying. Being at 5 life is really awkward. You awaken at 2 with double strike Kai and Champa. Like that's just such an awkward number to put yourself at. Yeah. Like you guys are saying too, the leader should have came into play. Like the field spell should have come into play with the leader. Other than that, like they're cool, I guess.
agree.
No, they're not.
All right, so
Okay,
Dev,
listen.
your turn, I guess.
I agree. I agree with George. I think Beerus has a chance. I've seen it kind of work. It just needs like I don't know what it exactly needs, but it just needs something early enough, for it to make it more playable. Otherwise, right now it's just like a fun deck that people can mess around with. Champa, just don't. This is not it. Uh, I think the U6 cards cool though. I don't know why I like U6 stuff, but
Like I had said at the beginning of the stream, I think U6 has the better green engine. Like I think it's more tempo-y, kind of like what George was saying. But even then, it's still kind of lackluster.
I'm not gonna play either of these things. So I don't care. But
Well, that wraps that one up. So yeah, I agree with everybody. Beerus is cool. I like Beerus. The spirit boost is kind of whack that they even had a spirit boost for this. Just remove the spirit boost, dude. Just like let them discard one after they KO. Like these are so many conditions and once per turn. Like even if it wasn't once per turn, it'd be worth playing. Like take away the keywords, do this, it'd be worth playing. Honestly, because the deck inherently doesn't have that many cards to play because you want to have no cards on field to play the cards for free. Otherwise, it's not worth just even printing this. So I don't know. These two could have been designed a lot better. I think that's the gist, and I think this is a miss. Or
I agree.
Yeah,
what's
I
the title?
just think it's a shame
Bust.
and funny that green has been the theme color for 2 sets in a row, where it feels like there are 2 ways to design things in games. There's top down and bottom up. And top down, I think, is like when you start with a theme and then you build the way down, whereas the otherwise is like you start with your mechanics and then you have a theme to bring it all together. I think between the Goku and the Vegeta and now Champa and Beerus, I just think it's really funny that green 2 sets in a row get plagued with a theme that like ends up hindering the entire archetype. Because like for those of you guys who don't know, Beerus has 4 life because he brought 4 viable fighters to this tournament, and Champa has 5 life because he brought 5.
Yeah,
Oh,
he
I didn't think about that. That's cool flavor.
Yeah.
Bandai's stupid.
Monaco
I mean,
Crash.
like I said, the Monaco and Beerus thing, I feel like that was another thing that they threw in, but hilarious.
Yeah.
Also, Josh says he loves you, George, and the lead is good because of hand rip and high power. So I would agree with you, Josh, if he had a hand to even use the you know, the 20k to the best of the ability, because you're defending with like what 6, 7, 8 cards max at a time with this deck. I've never seen a Beerus player or myself had more than that, and that's just how the card or the game is, or the leader is.
Open your eyes, baby. No, I'm good.
Wow. Moving on.
Play against Slug, baby. They give you cards. You're fine.
True. Play a bunch of Saiyan Instincts, you know. So are we on yellow? We're on yellow, right? So
Yeah.
I guess so, based strictly off the weird map and not the the order. Blues last. Yeah,
yellow,
makes sense.
yeah, blues last. I put these 2 at last because they have the least reveals. I want to say, pretty sure they have the least reveals.
Okay.
Yellow, I think, does because it's
Yellow,
all
for
half
sure.
revealed.
Yeah. So, wait, did I start or did Dev start last? Dev start last,
I
right?
started last.
Okay. Well,
No, green was you. Yeah.
Oh, you can go ahead and start, Dev.
I don't know. I think Trunks is gonna be cool because of the fact that obviously he's a yellow Saiyan. and like he's got a lot of cards that he can work with. I haven't really looked too much at the leader, but I think with the new trunks stuff, I think the future, what is that? The future Gohan deck stuff should still work with it. So
Couple
I'll
cards.
probably mess around with
Some
that.
of it does.
Yeah, like some of it I think works, but I'll see if I can mess around with that. But overall, I think it's kind of cool. I'll probably mess with it a little bit, but I haven't looked too much at it yet, so I'm not 100% sure.
Yeah, I'm gonna save my stuff for mine. But if you liked the future Gohan stuff, you'll like this.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, I just haven't looked at it, so I'll probably look at it a little bit right here. But all right, Ro, go ahead because I got nothing else.
To me, it's kind of similar to Green. Leader's cool. It's all right. Like Devin was saying, it's a Saiyan. It's a yellow Saiyan. Like, I think inherently it's just going to automatically kind of have some advantage. It's kind of the backside's interesting. I kind of like some of the other support, like the Vegeta, the SS Blue, the 3-drops, and the 8-drop. I think we were kind of talking about this before we streamed, and it's kind of getting ahead to the next color. I kind of like Whis. I think this kind of brings back your skillless engine. It gives you some more tech pieces. The 8-drop is another good finisher for the deck instead of just going weenie wide. I don't know. I think they're not bad. It's interesting. I definitely am looking forward to the Zamasu leader, though. I think more so than the Trunks. I think the Zamasu is going to either itself be really good, because, again, we had kind of talked about this before. If the backside is only Goku Black and not mixed, it's another yellow Saiyan. It's a Wish leader. It's yellow. Plus, you have 2 or 3 other support sets for Goku Black Zamasu stuff that you can kind of intertwine. Depending on how the cards are, I think the Zamasu that rips or burns 4 life if your opponent has 8 or more energy might become meta relevant again. I think the format might be slow enough for it, depending on what support it gets. Hot take. Calling it now.
Hayden.
I like the leader a lot. The fact that it's kind of like a surge leader and or has like a unique awakening condition is fun. I haven't spent too much time because this was what dropped yesterday,
I believe.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I like being able to awaken early is great. And then you do have like the one card underneath it for like a one-time boost, which is cool. I also know that EX Evolve Vegeta was part of like that Whis archetype from a couple sets ago, so I don't know if there's any synergy with that. But there's potential for it.
There should
and
be.
or this stuff being back, like I don't know what the support between the two, but there's potential for there, so I haven't looked into that. Other than that, it's just we'll see. Nothing's really caught my eye besides the leader, and so and the leader's kind of stuck to this archetype, so we'll kind of see how that works.
I kind of going back. Sorry, this 8-drop. The fact that it doesn't have a cost restriction on the Vegeta and the Trunks to put underneath it is really good.
I mean, it doesn't have any protection at all.
It doesn't, but it's an 8-drop. Like, you get around lineage, you get around, and it's a 35k. Like,
get around Frieza. The only thing you don't get around is
It doesn't
Trunks.
get around Frieza.
yeah, it doesn't get around
blue.
the Trunks.
It's just blue.
Hmm? Yeah.
Just blue.
He's saying it's just blue that hits it.
Yeah, like I think this card's really, really strong.
Yeah, but there's also I think you passed it. It's Super Saiyan Vegeta Trusted Ally from set 13. It's just active battle for yellow. If for 1 yellow, if you have a yellow Trunks future with any cost of 3 or more in play, you can play it for free or for 1. And then it's critical unique when it's played. Choose up to one of your opponent's battle cards, any cost 3 or less in rest mode and KO it. I think it's page 2 of that guy.
This one? Okay.
I think you passed page 2. Keep going.
Oh yeah. So
Keep going. That dude. But we just passed it.
This one?
That guy.
Oh, okay.
That guy.
Oh yeah, this one's pretty good. I
Yeah,
hate that
he's
it's a
a good
10k though. I hate that it's a 10k.
Eh,
That's fine.
okay. Hate away.
All right.
George.
Yellow Saiyan leader with an archetype that's good and doesn't take too many cards. The deck's good. It doesn't excite me.
Nothing
It'll
excites
keep
you,
doing-
George.
I know.
No. Like this is well, like I mean, this is like yellow. Yellow's good. Yellow Saiyans are good. He's gonna be good.
Am I the
Like, I don't-
problem?
Like I don't like it. Just I don't know. It doesn't excite me. It'll probably see play and it'll be fine. Like if I had to say whether it's a bust or not, like yeah, obviously it's super good. But like I just don't. It's fine. It's good.
Oh, are we gonna talk about the
Um,
weird yellow/black secret rare that we got?
No. Well, after
The
after
mirror?
all those, yeah.
Card's
Well,
good.
Let me say, so to wrap this up, this leader's cracked.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, but this leader's cracked. I cannot wait for the rest of the reveals for this. Because I think there's more for this deck, but as in testing, as soon as I saw the leader, I was like, bro, this this thing is cracked.
If this deck gets anything else, it gets TP promos. I think it's out. for
Yes,
its,
I do
base
think it
pack.
is. I think this is a deck that will get TV promos. I 100%
Yeah.
agree with you. Think
Yeah.
about this.
But I don't
guys.
think anything left in the pack is to be revealed. I think this is it.
Probably. So if there's anything else that has support for this leader, then it'll just make it that much better. Maybe cracked is probably a little bit too much of a strong word, but I think it is a very strong deck, and
It's very good.
I don't think it replaces Icarus, and I don't think it replaces like any of the crazy yellow leaders we had in the past. But the thing about this deck is that it goes wide a lot. It has a lot of protection in the barrier blockers, and these guys just swinging over and over again and replacing itself because these guys play from drop as well. So they get removed. So like the Vegetas, then you use the leader effect to play it for free to either draw or to play it from the drop. So these one drops keep coming back with barrier, and they just sit there and have protection. And then you just kind of keep going over and over again until you play these guys or you play any of the other yellow good stuff like Turtles. Just in testing, just playing like a half a dozen games, like this leader is great. I imagine that people are going to try him out and he's going to do well in the future. But yeah, winner, I'm guessing. And
Yeah.
yeah. I think
Yeah.
blue is the last one.
I
and we'll go
trust and
over-
agree with Brian's opinion.
I appreciate that. Is this it? Oh wait, this is just Vegeta. Sorry.
Blue.
I don't know much about the blue stuff. I'll start it out because I really don't know much about blue. I didn't really give it a chance outside of the specific stuff like Great Priest and as well. What was the other good card that I like? It was the
Better not be that 3-drop Goku.
That
was-
card cracked,
I
bro.
like the 3-drop.
That card's so good.
Yeah, if I magically do nothing on my turn and just pay 3, like I don't.
I like
Okay, you
this
put it in
as
Soul
well.
Striker. You're gonna have energy.
Oh,
we,
boy.
I don't think we're gonna have Soul Striker.
We might. I think
might.
there's supposed to be like some combos here that you can untap your energy at certain points and things like that. I like the Whis leader. I don't think it's very good, but I like it.
It seems like the jankiest leader I've ever seen.
I know, but I like it.
Okay,
Jankiest archetype.
low key, like I was looking at it before.
Oh,
Sorry,
just
I know I'm
remember.
cutting in line.
It's okay. Just remember, people who keep reading this is play up to 1 skillless, so you don't have to play a skillless. Just give everyone a reminder. But yeah, everything else I'll let you talk, Rob. Everything else I don't really know.
No, go ahead. I'll wait my turn.
No, I really didn't give any of this a chance. As soon as I saw the reveals, I was like, "Oh, this is kind of dog water." So, I don't know.
Because it is dog water. All right, so blue. So Goku is basically bootleg Soul Striker. He's not as efficient, and he's a more archetypal variant. Archetypal. I mean, he works with Saiyan stuff, so it's not super archetypal. But he's a more restricted variant of Soul Striker, and this leader, the creation of this leader, and this is kind of where I'm saying, and like we'll have more discussions about it when we talk about potential bans, but it definitely feels like this set they're giving us a lot of alternatives to cards that are more generically accessible to Titan. Like they like the Poutine effect, but they only want to live in yellow green, so they only create like the yellow green angel to make it work with that way. They like the idea of Soul Striker, but because Soul Striker overshadows everything, we get this leader. I think the archetype's whatever. The archetype works with almost any like blue Saiyan leader, so it's like I don't think it's that great. I think the awakened condition is absurd, and the leader's kind of whatever. Whis, when we're talking about Whis, it's a KO based archetype in blue. Like what the hell?
Yeah, I don't know why they did that.
Yeah, that makes no sense.
Like why we have no KO abilities, and like I'm sure as hell not wasting my combos on like killing a battle card. Like no. So like I don't. Anyways, I just think again I think blue is not exciting. I think nothing that they're giving us is solving the issues with blue, which is like a color that can interact with the board. And as such, I think if they don't ban Soul Striker, the only leader we're playing next set that's blue is Soul Striker. Yep. I will say though, the Goku's cool. I just don't like that. Like, he costs 3 on your opponent's turn 3 and then never goes below that. And like, it's fine, but like, I don't know. It's like if you're gonna spend time and effort to use that negate so that your opponent starts attacking that battle card and then negating to protect that battle card, you could just negate to protect your leader in the first place. So
I don't think it's on the site, but yeah, that's the negate that you're talking about.
It's on there.
It's a 6-drop SR.
It's on page 1. It's underneath the Green Priest Unison.
Oh.
Yeah.
Like I don't know. Like yeah. So I think it's unfortunate.
It has to be in rest mode for the permanent to even work.
It comes into
like
play
it gets played in rest mode.
Oh, it does. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like don't get me wrong, it's a cool card, so but it's just like again, like it just doesn't feel like archetypally blue got almost nothing and generically blue got archetypally blue actually got nothing, and then generically it got this, and that's pretty much it.
They should have drew a card actually. I don't know why they didn't put it that.
It doesn't need to. Why would it need to?
100% it should have drawn because it's a 20k and 20k is easy to get over.
Okay.
It's always easy. That's it. I mean, it's cool in Super Saiyan 3 reboot, but that's it.
Oh. Yeah, I guess that's true.
That's what I would do.
SSB reboot needed a card,
Vegeta
actually.
Ramp. Yeah, it's either one of these.
Oh. Yeah, I forgot about Vegeta. I don't see that.
It's a good deck right now.
I know. All right, continue. Go ahead.
I'll just keep it quick. I don't know. It feels bad if Soul Striker got banned. However, I've only played one game with it with the new blue yellow stuff, and it felt unstoppable. I felt like I was just winning since I started the game. It felt really, really good. The Great Priest is fantastic. There are so many blue yellow gods that you can just abuse with both the leader and the the extra untap, and then you can play Kefla for really, really cheap. You get one more energy, and you can combo with the blue yellow card for free with the Unison, so that feels good. It just stinks because like I don't like hits to cards because they might be good, and we'll just see what they decide to do. I don't think banning it or not or keeping it live is the worst decision either way. So we'll just see what they do, but I want to give it a chance to see if it's good and people like playing it, because I mean blue's not great right now. It hasn't been great, and since they banned the 0-drop extra card, right? And like why
they errated it? They didn't ban it.
Basically banned.
They need to stop making extra cards with 0 cost because they keep getting in trouble for doing that. But
yes, they do.
And they're blue.
Yeah, it's just if Soul Striker gets banned, I can just feel like blue is not going to be in the meta again. That's my opinion. But if it's the only meta deck, then I don't know.
I don't know.
Because they got to keep one in there, because otherwise nothing's going to get hit.
Here's the thing.
Save it for the ban list.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Fair enough. But just to piggyback off what Egg said, I will say the Grand Priest in Soul Striker is a very spicy deck.
It is so tasty. It is very good.
It's cool. It's definitely cool.
You get 2 additional untap every turn, and free 2 combos of 10Ks every turn. And you can also just do the -3. You do the -3 also. It's fine. You don't even care about it. You're 20K.
I like the -3. I wish
you can do Trunks. You can do Trunks, and then you can do that, and then they're just like, well,
what do I do?
Okay.
Yeah.
Rob? It's bad. It's good. It's good. It's not bad. It's good.
I'm probably most excited for Whis leader out of the whole set so far. Just kind of looking, I think, because
Why?
Listen, okay,
you can play,
hold on.
You can play
let
blue
me,
yellow,
let me,
and it's cool. That's what it. That's
So you
really
play
about
blue
it.
yellow, you get the new beers, you get the Whis that plays the beers, you have the whole engine, so you go wide with the yellow stuff. You have the new yellow support for the vanillas with it. Like I don't know. I think the Whis is gonna be really good. I started throwing a list together. I'm gonna kind of flesh it out and start testing it. I think Whis is gonna be really good. Great Priest is kind of obnoxious. The card's really good. This Goku's cracked. This card is insane, dude. Like it's a 20k that comes into play in rest mode. It basically becomes a Bergamo. You beat it once, you're forcing your opponent to go into resources. I don't know. And it's a triple striker with deflect and barrier. Like, meh. Other than that, like everything else is just meh. Like
I will say that this card is pretty cool for the mirror, because you're looking at, like, most of the time for blue decks, you're looking at a pretty beefy unison, so you just swing 20k triple strike to the unison, and it's just okay. I don't have unison anymore, so I mean I can kind of see that.
And it has barriers, so you can just swing into Majin Buu to make it a 1. Or
yeah.
You just kill Majin Buu.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. So like you just swing into Majin Buu, and it's just like, oh, I paid 4, and I thought it was unstoppable, but it's not. But
yeah, I mean, other than that, like the rest of the stuff is, this Vegeta Interceptor is interesting. The counter. It's a common.
It exists. Like
I got this card was even here. I forgot all about this.
Why does
it
this have
exist?
counter? Why does it have counter timing? What does
I
Oh no, you
actually-
negated my.
Attack for 3.
Oh
I
no, you
actually think
negated
this is
my
a good deck.
attack.
This is a good card.
Oh no, you negated my attack. Anyways, main phase, pay 3 for like no.
The counter
Pay
is
3
really
sucks.
weird on it.
Yes, paying 3 sucks. I think this could have been just a counterplay. I don't know why it was a counter, but I think the concept is that they have 2 cards, like 2 battle cards. That's the only 2 attacks. They're swing with leader. You do counter, you bottom deck them too. Now you have a 20k body dual attack. I think that's the idea behind it. Why does it cost 3? And why does it not have a counterplay? I don't know.
It kind of goes with what you guys were saying with like Poutine and stuff. Not that it's in a sense comparable to Cooler, but it's kind of comparable to Cooler in a sense,
not.
right?
No, it's not.
Listen, I said it's not, but it is.
Sure.
I think it's cool.
This is the worst timing. I think this is a typo. Like, I don't know.
Yeah,
Like,
this should be
I just
counterplay.
realized that they
Anyways.
can't swing at you for them to counter.
Yeah.
They can't counter.
No,
So-
you literally need to wait for them
It should
to.
have been a counterplay.
Yeah, it's counterplay.
I don't get it. Like it's just.
Oh, my turn.
Yeah,
All right. Rob's smoking that good stuff. If he think we's gonna be good. Anyways, I mean, the rest of the stuff's cool. 6 drive's cool. I think it's good.
Yeah.
The unison's kind of nuts, especially in Soul Striker. If Soul Striker stays around, that's gonna be ridiculous. Do we count the Vegeta leader, the ramp one?
Yeah. So I don't.
Oh, no.
I don't see it here.
It's a promo. It's not.
Yeah.
it's
So
a promo.
oh,
It's
it's a
not part of the
promo.
main
That's why.
set.
Okay.
True.
Yeah.
Yeah,
if we're
if I
counting
was-
that in here, I like that card.
I will say, quick aside, I practiced with that leader with the idea that it would get.
It's gonna get errated. Yeah.
Yes,
I
and
was there.
it stinks. I think that it's not a typo and that it needs to have that effect to potentially, like, optioning discard to be viable. Otherwise,
Yeah.
like all the stuff you're doing is too expensive.
I can.
All
see
right,
that.
if we're gonna jump to this leader, I got words to say. All right, since like as the
Well,
provisional
let's
player.
okay, sorry. I cut Devin. Let
All
Devin
I had to
finish.
say. That's literally all I had to say. I was gonna
Okay.
bring up that guy.
Yeah.
Okay, so a lot of people think that this leader is viable because like, oh, sick, I get the +2 on my unawakened side. Yeah, but little do you know, if you actually bother to read what Vegeta BRs and Goku BRs do, like 9 out of 10 of them are absolute fusion fodder Garbo.
Yep.
Like they do nothing. You don't want them in your hand. The only reason you include them in your deck is to go into Gogetas. The leader isn't viable with the burn. I mean, unviable. He's less viable than Gogeta when we go for the ramp burn plan because he's 1 turn behind. You are 1 energy behind from actually getting the playoff than you would if you're running Gogeta. So then you're thinking about running the red Gogeta stuff, and for 9 out of 10 times, you're better off actually running a red leader that's more consistent at running the red stuff and gets the full benefits than actually running this one. The only thing I will say about this is that it's flexible and it scales with future design. It is a leader that every time we get no Goku BRs, Vegeta BRs, and Gogeta BRs, you have to go back. And that's why I'm thinking something feels missing. Because don't get me wrong, the Gogeta's like the
TP
blue-red
promos.
Gogeta's super cool.
TPs.
Yeah, 100%. I think we're gonna get a TP because it feels like he's still missing something. But I will say he scales the best out of anything we've seen, and eventually, depending on what they print, could get there. So it's a leader you always have to go back and check, because eventually, if we do get good Goku and Vegeta BRs, then yes, it's awesome that we're drawing into them. It's just right now they're literal Garbo and they're fusion fodder. So it's like, at the moment, I just don't see it. And I think while the advantage is cool, the leader is definitely missing something, and it feels like you're missing something.
Unlucky.
Okay. There you go. I
This
didn't
is
want to
dog
leave it
water.
out because it was a part of it. Yeah, that unison is dog water. That unison is so fucking.
People were saying that this is really good. I don't see it. I'm sorry, I don't
That
see it.
unison is.
I really don't see it. I don't know how this
Oh my
this
god.
really helps you, but either way.
All right.
Blue is probably a miss. For the
Miss.
most part.
Yes.
For the most part, I think that's probably what it is.
It's yep. Blue lives and dies by Soul Striker next set, like usual.
Yes, sir.
I don't know. I'm gonna make a whole video on it, and I'm gonna go through all the current.
Here you
blues
are
we have
promoting your videos again on your
my
YouTube.
channel that everyone's watching right
Wow.
now. I'm
Like,
gonna. We're literally on my channel. I'm gonna talk about how
So
what
this
Stroke
is a
Striker
team
does.
channel.
And I've talked about this before. I talked about it in the Xenosnap before. That if you want Blue to succeed, do you want to succeed through Soul Striker? If
Like
not,
from the Union.
okay. If you, I'm gonna say it for the ban list. But if you wanted it to succeed, do you want it to be successful through Soul Striker? Because that's the only way it'll be successful right now. Or do you want to support the other specific blue strategies? And that's the question. And I'm gonna go through all the strategies and what the pros and cons are, and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So we can talk.
My
about
quick
that.
My quick 2 cents on that. I am okay if we eventually lose Soul Striker for the good of Blue as a whole.
That's what I'm saying.
But if you do that at the moment, Blue is unplayable. You need to fix Blue alongside banning Soul Striker, and then I'm totally cool with it.
But there's nothing to fix it right now.
Well,
Like, what do you fix it with?
We're gonna talk about it in the ban list, but first, let's talk about the SCRs. So, instead of saying and talking about all of them, just pick your favorite SCR and why.
Vegeta.
Shut up.
No.
And I'm gonna start it
sorry.
off,
George,
and then
George,
we'll go to George.
What's your
afterwards.
favorite color? Red. No, wait.
I think they're all good in their own way. Let's put it that way.
I don't think any of them are bad. I don't think any of them are bad.
I said I was gonna start it, and you go next.
Yeah.
That's why I stopped.
I'm agreeing with your point.
Get me out. I think Vegeta is the best one, and this is what Red needed. These two are weirdly designed, but I can see them working. George.
I think Vegeta's fantastic. He's the red SCR that Red has needed for a very long time. And I think is going to be the God Rare between the three. Marketing wise, it just makes no sense that your first God Rare is like either Mira or like Brainwash Kai. Like, I think that's absurd.
Yep.
I think Super Mira is actually like, it reminds me of Gotenks, obviously, because it's the only like other real viable unison. But like, I think he could, like, if he actually gets on board, he's actually super annoying. The what makes Mira not bad is just the fact that other SCRs exist that you would rather have in your deck. But like, if let's say those SCRs didn't exist, like Mira's actually a super solid card, and he'd be super annoying to hit on the board, and he's got a very solid like plan to close out the game. And because he has Empower, you could actually try to close out the game with him, and if not, you have like one of the best blockers in the game. So, and then Kai's like fine. She's very similar to the other Kai. She's just more aggressive for black decks. So like, she's fine. I mean, I think a lot of people who are fans of her are for fans that not necessarily have anything to do with her mechanics, but nevertheless, she's okay. She's okay. I think Vegeta is by far the best one though.
Man, those are some nice mechanics.
Her outfit.
Yeah, the black and red. Yeah, the black and red suits her really well.
Something servant. I don't.
Hayden next.
All right. I like real quick. I like the unison. I think it's really cool, but it's hard to make it a game plan when it's not searchable and you can't run more than one. So that kind of stinks. I don't like Kai, but it is searchable, so that stinks. And then Vegeta is good and searchable, so it's
Black
really
specific.
consistent.
Forgot to
You
mention
can
that.
pick it
but
up, it gets bursted out of the Goku leader.
Yeah, or no, well, you can also there's like a set 5 card. You can find anything with Supreme Kai in its name.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, actually?
it's a
I don't
2-drop.
know.
It's
Oh,
the
actually.
2-drop. It's
Yeah.
the 2-drop.
Yeah,
Yeah.
blue 2-drop.
I don't like that it's black specific, but that's
Yeah, it's
cool,
weird
I
that it
guess.
is too. But I think it. I don't
But
know.
it's
if it could be
it's
broken
it's
otherwise.
leader locked for at least the activate man in battle.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
It's
This-
a
Yeah.
leader. It's
If-
a
if
leader.
there's a
But
way
locked
like
to-
it being
Black.
specified black doesn't necessarily. I don't think it hinders it at all because it's only going to be played in black decks. So you're gonna have the black energy regardless, right?
Yeah.
So at that point, it might as well just be colorless.
Unless
Why
you're
give it
playing the
servant?
Toa Xeno deck. Oh no!
Why give it servant?
Got him.
Yeah, I don't know why they gave it certain, but
Touche.
I think the reason why is that there's certain things that you can return this back to your hand, and it doesn't leave the
Or
field
deck.
into
Yeah.
into the game.
The 5-drop grand.
Or the idea
Yeah.
that you can only swing with it once.
Yeah.
Maybe they got lazy.
No, I think a 50k double striker on turn 3 is not too bad. It's just I'm
But
sure.
then
that
if
they,
it can't be on turn 4, turn 5, etc. So
well, that yeah,
Uh-huh.
yeah.
because you can't restand it. Yeah.
You can't resand it.
Well, so
it's
that's
like,
what I'm saying.
well,
Return it back to your hand. That way you can do it again. But yeah.
It's
Um,
normally bottom deck, and then go find and fishing for it again.
Yeah, but whatever.
Rob.
Vegeta real good. I agree. It's gonna probably be the God Rare. Like the other two don't make sense. The Supreme Kai's, it's good. It's weird with having servant and stuff like that. Like it's just so off the wall. Like
It
doesn't
feels
go
like
with
a
anything.
sorry. It
No,
feels like
you're
an AI generated card. It's just like
They just printed a bunch of stuff on it, and then
Yeah,
they're like,
alright.
"Oops,
let's get the
servant."
art that people like. Let's add a couple weird
Servant.
tags, and boom. All right, we got one. All right, sorry. Continue.
Mira though, like I think a lot of like I know for sure when it got revealed, I know we missed the Empower. I think the fact that you can pay 4 for it, it comes into play with 7 markers, and you immediately -4, so it still has 3 markers. You can plus on your opponent's turn. Like, I don't know. I think this unison's really strong. Because like think of it this way, right? So you play the Trunks unison for 3, you swing twice with it, pass the turn. The next turn you swing twice with it, you pay 4, play the Mira. Like it's a lot, man.
Real quick. I don't think any cards with Empower are going to be seeing play. Maybe like the black one that gets played for free and gets the markers back, but
There you
nothing.
go.
All the Empower cards are specified cost of like 1, and like you never want to like, and then they don't have skills that are good enough to warrant them having them.
Yeah, that's the thing. I think the only good Empower unisons, and they don't exist right now, are unisons that are good on their own right, and Empower adds on top of that.
Like a
it's
3-drop,
just more
4-drop. Yeah.
Like
sure,
Mira.
like yeah, exactly. Because like I think like Mira is an example of what they should do in Empower. Like he'd be incredibly strong if he didn't have Empower, and Empower just gives him that little extra zhuzh. It's like it's weird. Like it's a very you need to be careful design wise, because like then you like if it's Empower just makes it so that like really hard to get rid of unisons could be even harder, which is kind of like a space you want to be careful about.
But I think they're too careful though.
Yeah, that's fair. I don't think any of them will see play. I don't think any of them will see play, besides maybe this one in like the niche deck that whoever decides to put it in.
I think Mira might see play. Obviously, Vegeta will.
Well,
The only thing with Mira is you have both Kais, the Kibito Kai and Supreme Kai, that wipe unisons, that can kind of blow you out. Other than that, like I think this Mira is really strong. It's probably my favorite secret out of the deck or the set. But it's a niche.
You
deck
also
in what
like
you play it in.
Blue Kai leader, so
The Whis leader?
or Whis, whatever.
Yeah, whatever. Obviously, my opinion is, but here we are.
it's a good secret rare. I like it a lot. It just like the thing with Mira is not Mira himself. It's like opting to use Mira instead of other SCRs. I think that's just the biggest
I
thing.
agree. Like it's
Yeah.
you compare it to what else you could play in yellow. So like on top of having like Pan and Kai, you have Cell. Like, do you play this over those 3? Probably not.
But there might be a deck, and I think if that deck exists, this would be an amazing card in it. So
100%.
Mhm.
All right, so I will say
Yo.
mostly
Oh, yeah.
winner for everything.
Vegeta.
and I already know Vegeta. Hopefully it is a god rare. You know, the issue with these two is that you always, every time a secret rare comes out, you compete with the ones before it. So
Yes.
I don't see these being played over the others that we have. I do see this one being played in red if you're mono red, and that's pretty much it. Honestly, that's my thing. That kind of takes us to our top three of cards or leaders in the realm of gods. Dev, you can start. We'll make it quick.
Because
like I
Brian's
said,
still thinking of his.
Yes, actually yes.
Uh,
But yeah,
so my favorite would probably be
top three.
Top three. So blocker negate for black. 5-drop go or trunks, black card, and poutine.
Okay,
There you go.
cool. Rob.
Green Goku at the SS4 battle card. I like Whis a lot. And then, dude, I gotta go. The poutine's so good.
We're in a
The
scene
card,
on that one.
huh?
Nothing.
I
Continue.
hate you. It's either between poutine or the 6-drop Goku. I think their set has a lot of cool staples for decks that are already in existence right now.
Hayden.
I will say I like the blue yellow Beerus is just stupid. Like that card is just asking for
That's up there. for me, too.
for trouble. And then I'll just say Great Priest as long as Soul Striker still lives, and as a unison, and then not the leader, the blue unison. And then I'll just
Gotta
put my faith in saying the wish leader. I'll just, without even seeing it, I know it's my top 3 favorite. So
True.
no question. It's going to age super well. I'm sure of it.
George.
As far as things, so like my picks are gonna be more aligned with things that I think are good, like are make for the game to be more interesting, or just like overall probably like the most intense things out of the set. I would say the blocker negate for black is like hugely impactful. I think that's massive. Kusu I think is a phenomenal card and is gonna see a ton of play. It's basically like a vamped Vegeta the Cruel. So I think those are the two biggest. If I could include SCRs, I guess I would say Vegeta. But then I guess otherwise, those are my two biggest ones, to be honest. I guess I'll say the Vegeta leader. As much as I harp on it, I think it's just exclusively because it's a leader that I'm going to see myself revisiting over and over and over again. That's probably gives me enough reason to put it in my top 3.
There.
Cool.
Brian.
I think I'm more biased, if anything, which I guess everyone is, but I will put Great Priest in my top 3, the leader, just simply because it is such a challenge to get the deck right. Like
I do appreciate that challenge. I've
Yeah.
been grinding a lot of games with it. It's been
Yeah.
fun.
you start building it, and you're like, okay,
I like the quotes.
Yeah.
I have my 50. I have my 51. You go out,
Yeah,
and you're
yeah,
It's
like,
been
wow,
fun.
this is dog water, but I still want to do it. So,
Yeah.
so you go back, and you're like, okay, let me remove some of these 210s and
You're not even trying to get to sparkling water. You're just trying to get to water. You're just trying to get like.
and then
Trying
you're
to
like,
get
what,
water.
what 05s and gods are really good, and then you're like, oh, there's like 2, and then you just keep going. So I really do like that leader, and the deck is just super fun. The Beerus is in that top 3 as well, and then Kusu, I think I'll probably put that one up there too. It's just 2 of my favorite, like, not so much colors, but so much of like what it does, like hand destruction, removal. You can play with blue and green, so I don't know. I like that. An honorable mention, that 4-drop critical deflect, remove 2 things with 15k barrier for 2 is really good.
Oh my god, that card is so.
That
nuts.
does like literally everything for you. The card, like as soon as it comes down on the field, I'm like, okay, I'll just scoop. Cool, thanks.
That card is so dumb.
Appreciate it.
Holy.
Thanks for letting me know. So that is the top 3 for all of us. Kind of brings us to the ban limit errata, where
Alright,
this
well,
is going to
I
work.
made
I
a-
think.
I made a video on this, so you can watch that, and I'm going to actually skedaddle. But
Okay.
Yeah, I
I
know. Lame boy.
do
Been
you have
streaming
a
for literally 10 hours today.
no problem. I will put a picture for you instead.
Oh, please be a good one.
In
Oh,
a
there's a good clip from my Twitch stream when I try to go Super Saiyan. It's awful. You just do that. Right
where's
here, actually,
that?
if you want, here, just take a picture of this.
Huh?
There you go.
That's
He has a blue one. I didn't
hold
know
on.
he had a blue
One second.
Eh?
One second. Yeah, why do you have
Eh?
a blue one? Where do you get this
Why is
stuff?
it blue?
Hold on.
Okay, so if you go Super
can you do a
Saiyan while you're
face?
Super Saiyan God, you get blue hair. That's why.
Can you do a face or something or?
I love the whole matter of factly, just like, well, yeah, duh,
Yeah,
guys, because if you
appreciate
go God and you apply Super Saiyan to God, you're blue, idiots.
True.
Exactly enough.
Yes. Hold on.
I
One
love-
second. Give me 2 seconds.
It's the primary colors. You've got yellow, you've got red, now you've got blue. It's
I'm doing. I saved the file.
So
as
what's
as-
rose?
SSG Eggman.
that's like
the
a
file
printer
name.
ink thing.
It's
one second.
SSB, my guy.
Owner.
Oh,
bro.
my bad.
You're
Well,
right.
not really, because there's some translation there. Super Saiyan God, Super Saiyan is the original translation. So,
Yeah, SSGSS.
yes, that's what I said. Super Saiyan God, Super Saiyan.
If you include the SS at the end, sure.
You
It's just
guys are
shortened
making
version.
fun of me for being matter of factly, but now you're continuing the same arguments. You've
Listen.
lost credibility.
1 second.
Not at all. That's
No.
like that's what they teach you in drama 101. Just go with it. Never say
Yes, and.
knows or what. Yeah.
Almost
yes
done?
and exactly.
Oh God.
All right. Okay,
Anybody
it's time to
watching?
get out. It's time for him to get out.
This one, and there you go. I think we're good now.
Perfect. Awesome.
All right.
Hey,
It's like you
fantastic.
Alright.
never left. Honestly, it's just
I'm
you're
still
frozen.
watching. So I'll just pretend I'm not here.
Okay, let me just
No,
meet
I'm
you
gone.
then.
Bye.
Okay, dokie.
Mhm.
Anyway, so manless Loretta. I think the best way to do it is just to give a good summary, right?
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
just go through the ban list and errata, or ban limit and errata options and which ones are which. Quick summary. Yeah. Who wants to start? Because I don't really have one. I gotta be honest with you. I really don't really have one.
I think they're gonna hit like Poutine only because they've released. I think there's 2 or 3 cards in the set that literally have Poutine's effect, but are more leader locked or more specific.
Mhm.
I don't know if they're gonna hit Power of a Super Saiyan. I've heard people talk about it. Like the card's really good. But I think if you get rid of Poutine, the card's a little bit more fair. I don't think Repose needs to get hit. I think yellow, you're probably only gonna probably lose Poutine. I don't know what else you'd really hit for yellow. You might see Cell get hit, a ban. Kind of just going off the top. I don't know what else. Like, and nothing else really is like. I guess hot take. I really like the format right now. I don't think it's necessarily bad. It's very open. It's. I don't think.
It's open to an extent.
I mean, sure, you're always gonna have gatekeeper decks, right? But I don't necessarily. I think it's a pilot extent format. Like, you play what you're comfortable with, and if that's what you're comfortable with, then you're fine. As long as you know what your bad matchups are and how to beat them, you're fine.
Yeah, I can see that. You kind of saw
Okay.
that at Nats too.
Yes.
You know what I
Banning
mean?
Nats,
Like,
that is.
I think if you, like I said, the only things that I could see them actually hitting would probably be Poutine and the Cell Surge.
No.
And even then, it's that I think Poutine's probably the only thing that I could probably be like, bet on it. You're gonna see Poutine banned.
Okay. Can I go now?
Oh yeah, go ahead.
All right. So I think they're gonna hit Slug 3-drop. That card is too oppressive. I think they hit Poutine. They have to do something about Gogeta. I still don't know what. They're gonna hit something with it. Cell Surge has to get hit in some way. Whether they even just hit Ribrian, which I don't think they will, but I wouldn't mind because I hate hand control. Soul Striker at some point needs to go. I don't think they're gonna hit it right now, but I wouldn't be upset if they hit it now. Trying to see across the board. I want Sensu Bean gone. I'm gonna just say it. I'm so sick and tired of Sensu Bean. Like I just want that card gone.
What deck are you playing against right now that's running Sensu Bean?
Any blue deck.
Thanks.
Any blue deck that's in the format.
What blue deck is being played? Are you high? Like, bro,
Oh
my
my
god.
top 16 at Nets.
Dude, there's 2 Soul Strikers in top
my-
16, and there's also Ender 16.
Yeah, there's 2 Soul Strikers in top 16 and an Android 16.
Oh my god.
I don't think like Sensu Bean becomes a problem when it's generic, you know. So when you start having like Storm and all these other decks that
It should have been gone a
taking
while
hands.
ago. But I just hate that card. It's so dumb that it's still here to this day. But this is my take on that. I mean that's pretty much it. I think those cards are all like the more oppressive cards or oppressive things that need to get hit in some way. 3-drop slug I think has to go. That card in general is just too good for it to stick around for any further. Especially with yellow being so good right now.
Or you
And-
leader lock it and just do like a Bojack treatment.
But it didn't go in Bojack. It didn't have a leader that it was tied to.
I meant like if you tied Slug to only Slug Army leaders. Because then at that point you're basically banning it, right? It'd be like the argument people were saying for leaving the 7-drop Arrival Bojack for only Bojack Brigade leaders.
But
Oh,
what
21 was
Slug
a
Army leader is even remotely played? That would ruin that.
That's the argument though, right? So
Yeah.
if you do it that way, it's still technically banning it, but you're not cutting off an entire archetype that could play it. Because
Yeah.
you can play it with either of the slug leaders. I'm not saying it's going to happen. I agree with you. The card is oppressive. It needs to go. But I think you could pull that treatment and ban it or errata it to make it to only that leader specific instead of making it leader or slug army leader. Make it only slug army leader.
I can see that. Technically, they gave support for Slug in both green and yellow. So, you know, technically, if you get rewarded for playing green and yellow at that point, but they just reprinted it, so it's kind of hard to say.
Yeah.
That's the thing too.
Yellow card support. So like,
What?
I guess if they put it to that, I guess green yellow wouldn't be that bad to play. I don't know.
I'm gonna save it for mine, but I will say that the Slug is broken in AOD. That is like the most
Yeah.
annoying thing ever.
Oh
Yes.
my god, yes. Like
We were
it's-
testing, and like the fact that AOD can so easily play it is very annoying because all AOD is goes super wide. You have the turtles and the slug. You're and the bobbity. You're guaranteed your bond too. Like it's a very oppressive card to answer.
card has to go.
George is itching to talk, so ban Lisserata.
Oh no, I just have a tick.
Okay.
Okay. So a couple thoughts, I guess. First off, I have a gut feeling that they are hitting a number of cards because we're getting either alternatives or bootleg versions of them in this next set, like Rob was saying. So like Poutine, I think Poutine's gone. I think there's multiple versions of her and there or variants of her that we're getting in this set. Soul Striker, I'm fearful for, specifically because unlike other leaders that have felt Soul Striker-ish, this feels the most like a Soul Striker leader. And more so, it super feels like his archetype is super relevant to Soul Striker exists, more so than any other, because he actually doesn't do anything specific. He's just like a generic Blue Saiyan based archetype. Now, I'm not like, it's a whole deeper conversation, but in general, I think Blue has inherent issues that Buster Cannon or Galactic, whatever, like the 0 cost, fixed. And then when we had that card, and I'm not saying that card might not have been overtuned, it probably was. But what it showed us was that, you know, when you give Blue tools to be able to interact with your opponent's board, at least somehow, in a manner that's actually playable, you see more leaders. So before Galactic Buster was errated, we saw 4 to 5. And now, mind you, it was a lot of generic leaders, but it was 5 different generic blue leaders that you could opt to play, and they were like very playable. And they all played in their own different ways because of the fact that they existed. Whereas now you got rid of Galactic Buster, now you're in a spot where Blue has to rely heavily on maximum value, and the only leader that allows you to play the maximum value blue game is Soul Striker. So So I agree with what George was saying earlier, where it's like I'm okay with Soul Striker taking the hit for the good of blue because they can't design blue correctly with, or at least they can't help out blue much while Soul Striker's still around. But if they ban Soul Striker before giving us reasons to play blue outside of just good value, then where there's no reason to play blue, and you basically force blue to be in green's position right now. But worse because at least green has green archetypes worth playing, whereas blue doesn't really. I will say it's not doom and gloom. You do still have leaders like I like Life Trunks a lot. You could arguably play Gohan and he's still like pretty okay. You could probably still play starter Vegito and like he's like decent. And they're like okay, but like if you're looking to compete, none of them are really up at that table.
Listen,
So-
let me tell y'all something. Iron Val Trunks is that's a good leader.
I didn't say Iron Vow. I said
yeah,
Life Trunks.
No.
Get
Iron
Iron Vow
Val
out of
Trunks.
here.
Iron Val Trunks.
What's the ban?
Leader
button? Ban
Otherwise, so I think those are the most biggest hits in terms of like things to deal with the meta right now. I think the biggest thing I like Rob was saying, I actually don't mind the format. I just think right now yellow does everything and all it needs is a bit of tuning. So you bring yellow down a little bit, and I think if the set was a little bit better about bringing up the power level of the other colors, we'd be in an amazing spot. So in terms of yellow, I think if you're already getting rid of Poutine, that helps a lot. And I think you probably hit power of a Super Saiyan. You get rid of power of the Super Saiyan, yellow is still incredibly powerful. It does a lot of things. You still have Turtles, you still have Riposte, you still have the Goku. But now the deck is forced to run clunkier extra cards that don't do so much for free. It doesn't set up your Borgamo. It doesn't allow you to prevent an additional attack with one card. It does all. So like, I think you clunk up yellow, not to a point where it's unplayable. Yellow's still going to be tier 1 for sure. But you bring it down a peg enough that other colors that rely on tempo and all like that don't get punished as hard. And I think if you do that, I think you're in a really good spot. And I think those would be the biggest things to hit on if we're talking erratas. I don't know about erratas. Like I don't think anything needs errata. Like I think Slug is stupid. So if you want errata Slug to be Slug's army only, like that's fine by me. But otherwise, I think those are the biggest like quote unquote issues. And Cell Surge is probably going to go in some way or fashion. They've hit every other Surge leader that's relevant. There's no reason not. You can't tell me Bandai wasn't watching the Nat stream and the World stream and seeing Cell Surge play its games and the ones that win and being like, what the F is this? So like 100% I think something's happening to Cell Surge. But otherwise I think that's pretty much it. Like I don't think we need an insane ban list. I think we need a little bit of tuning, and I think that's the biggest thing. And I'm scared because I think a couple of cards that shouldn't be hit right now are probably going to.
Ryan.
So when you think about a ban list, right? So you have to think about what the direction of the game wants to go. And I think where the direction what Bandai wants to do is to continue with the archetypes and let people play the deck they want to play. And if you want to do that, then you need to continue to take care of the two things that the ban list and errata list has been taken care of. So if you just go through everything like Bojack, Belmont, etc., the U2 stuff, or what is it, Universe 3 stuff that Vegex and like others got hit on. I think the two things that a ban list needs to kind of answer is it fun and interactive, and do I enjoy playing? I think the game right now, you can kind of take any deck and I think you can kind of enjoy it. Competitive wise, I think there are a few things that are needed to fine tune. Everybody's pretty much mentioned them. I think Poutine probably will end up on the ban list just simply because of the Trunks and Maricita and a couple of things that you can use. I don't think Power Super Saiyan's gonna get touched. It's fine. I think probably the Icarus leader will probably be errated to pitch a card before or after drawing, I think, before anything else. So that way, kind of like these type of things will probably push people to other leaders and decks. Soul Striker will be banned or not touched at all. Those are the only two things that you can do to it. It's the leader. It's nothing else.
I think because blue has been so dormant in the last couple of formats.
I don't
think
think
That's
really-
even true.
I
That's
actually-
not true.
I
Four blue
actually-
leaders make
I
top
actually
cut
don't
of
think it
nets.
is. I actually don't think it is. Here's the thing about Soul Striker and what the issue is. Soul Striker just like every other generic leader, just like how Icarus is doing right now, it literally pushes you towards that leader versus anything else because you don't see the actual matchups that other leaders can give you. So Android 21, because of scheme and because of the tokens and because of other stuff like ramp and the blue-green stuff, just like Android 16, both of them can give you better matchups with the other things if you just play those decks and learn it. And I think Vegeta ramp is awesome. I think, again, I just made a video on Super Saiyan 3 Reboot. I think that deck is ass competitively, but it is pretty cool. And then Espira, you know, he mentioned Vegito and stuff like that. So I think making, like, if you ban Soul Striker and made you explore all these other decks, then I can understand that. And I think Majin Buu Unison is probably going to get hit before any of that anyway.
Please.
And I know it's a 4 cost. I know it's a 4 cost. And I know it's awesome. And it's a great card. But I think it should be a 1-of. I'm sorry.
That card gotta go. It gotta at least get limited.
What do you mean?
At least gotta get limited.
What do you mean?
It gotta get limited. Dude, that card is so good.
I'm
It's
sorry.
so
I'm
good,
sorry.
George.
It's a bad take. It's a bad take.
I'll agree.
It's a bad take.
I'll agree with your hot take.
Yo,
I don't even care.
what the
I don't
hell?
even care.
It's a bad
I'll
take. It's a
agree
bad
with
take.
your hot take.
It's
I
probably
don't
not gonna
care.
happen. It's probably not gonna happen. I just hate seeing that card. If they really want to shake something up, which I highly doubt they will, they need to address the free counters, and I don't think that's ever going to happen.
Yes.
So I literally don't think that's ever going to happen. So the thing about blue, what makes it scary is, of course, the baby 8 counter, and as well as Trunks. You take away Trunks, then blue is not going to be too scary against anything else. So you literally look at a card, and if it doesn't have deflect, then you're probably not going to play it because unless it's cheap or easy to get out, you're probably just not going to play it. That's just how the game is right now.
I think they need to be a bit more like, here's the thing. I think the only ones that are issues are Trunks and Frieza. And I think here's the thing. You do need some form of probably free counterplay to make it worth, because you can't tap out for a unison otherwise 9 times out of 10. Sure. But I do think Trunks hits too much. And I think Frieza maybe hits too much.
I don't think it's 7 or less.
Frieza's fine because it's in the auto, right? So that's fine.
Right.
But the problem is
it's Trunks.
Yeah,
it's just Trunks. It's
Trunks.
Trunks.
Yeah,
Trunks
like
absurd.
You have to play around it. There's no.
I agree. I think the idea of the free counterplay is a fine idea in a world where unisons exist. But I do think Trunks, and this is coming from the blue player, I do actually think Trunks hits too much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
like,
so what do you do?
I agree with Brian.
To make it to where it only hits like how the Frieza does.
It's banned.
No, they have to add. They have to like. They either ban them. They either ban the free cards, the free play counters.
Yeah.
Or you add some form of cost to them, because playing them for free is stupid. So especially as a black player that didn't even get one.
But there is a cost. You have to play Unison.
You have to play a Unison, sure.
Okay,
right?
Which is funny.
But the only ones that matter, right? The only ones that matter right now in the current format are Frieza, which every green deck has some form of Unison that can get out and it's hard to get rid of. Blue, which can just doesn't even allow you to play the cards to get rid of the Unisons. Or Red, which gets Piccolo Jr., which you're never going to kill unless you like hard go on it. And then Yamcha exists.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, so
and Yamcha is actually a good card to have in the game, just simply because it addresses free stuff.
But why do you need it?
That's what I'm saying.
Or Videl exists now, so why do you need it?
Very specific decks can run Videl.
That has to be a free cost.
No, yeah. So
that's too specific.
Here's the thing.
So what if you beat?
Well, I was gonna say, here's the thing. This is again a completely different video. I can talk about it all day. This is the thing. So there's a weird thing about the community about looking at cards and then looking at competitive bases. So we literally just talked about for the last hour or so how blue is non-existent and they're not doing anything. And yet we're not playing finishers that don't have deflect.
Yep.
Right. So where's the disconnect there? Like, is Trunks an issue and is blue an issue, or is blue not competitive?
You guys are saying blue is non-existent in the meta,
well,
and yet we're playing around
Well,
color.
I mean,
that-
bans don't only rely on things that are competitive, right? Like you have to also consider like do they restrict the design space and
Trunks kind of does.
the ability and yeah, exactly.
He
Like
does
does it
both.
restrict design space and
He
does
does
it restrict
both.
the meta's ability to develop? And Trunks does do both. So
He
like
does
I think
both.
it's
too strong.
yeah,
Okay,
exactly.
okay,
I agree.
okay,
I agree.
okay, okay.
Blue does nothing, but I could agree with Trunks getting something done because he impacts the game in a way that's not necessarily tied to the results of tournaments.
Okay,
Well,
so how do you make
yeah.
Trunks fair then, right? So
Ban
do
it.
you make it?
You don't.
Oh, no.
You leave him alone.
Okay, without banning it, right?
I told you.
See,
I told you in the beginning of this whole paragraph. I told you they're not gonna do anything to free player the free players.
Okay, so now
Bandai,
if you do affect
free
Trunks,
counters is Bandai's way of balancing the game. I'm telling you right now. Because
okay, so
It's still
Frieza
just
in a sense is
too-
limited, right? Trunks, I agree. Trunks needs to get probably hit at some way, right? So what if you errata it to a point where you have to pitch 1 or pitch 2 for it?
it's just an additional
Then
cost.
it becomes
but
fair.
but
okay,
you,
but
but you
it's
still
fine.
are able
but
to do
you
that.
have to limit to what you hit it on, right?
Do you
So
guys
I'm
We're
gonna
trying
stop you.
to.
Do you guys remember
Well,
in
it's
Nats?
Andy. Like-
do you know? You guys remember in Nats? Okay, going back to my first 2 points. You use the ban list and the errata list to balance the game and to make it fair. So like obviously like Bobbity Bibbity was not fair, right? And to make it fun and interactive.
Right.
Do you guys remember when Marquise was playing against Jared, I think, or the under 21 players, either one, and he tried to play Turtles 3 times in a row?
And he got Trunks every single turn.
Yeah.
He got Trunks 3 turns in a row. He slapped it on the table.
That is the reason why I think cards like Trunks are an issue. Competitively and casually, it is not the fun
Okay.
to go against. That's what I'm
Like,
saying.
listen.
I'm
Like
not
Sandy
disagreeing
said
with
in
that.
chat, like Sandy said in chat, the fact that you have like free counters make you have to play mana efficiently. Like you have to play your turns around them. Otherwise, you're just
Right.
gonna get punished every single time for playing the game how you're supposed to.
Yes, but that's why
You-
the game itself is a competitive game. You know, it's not a casual game. It's not Digimon.
It is a very
I'm
competitive game.
telling you, Digimon is more of a casual game to me, and it's more of something that you have to think about in every action that you have. So again, going back to what I was saying, for Bandai, what direction do you want the game to go? And if you want the game to go a little bit differently, then you have to address the things like the counterplays. But I
Well,
don't think that's
like-
what's going to happen.
Like Sandy said also in the rest of his sentence was like Bandai won, or we play like lower to the ground cards right now, right? Like your biggest finisher is, as we went back, like same thing it was like 2018 I think or something, where like your finishers were like 4 drops, like 4 or 5 drops, 3 drops, stuff like that.
When
right?
the best thing you could do was play Foreseeing
Foreseeing
Hit
Hit.
for
Foreseeing
4,
Hit,
bro.
at all costs
Oh
Vegeta,
my
all of
For
those.
everything hit,
Yeah,
but
that's
but
that's
those
the
are
where we're
type of
at
cards
again.
I want to play, and
Yeah,
that is the
right.
direction that Bandai has to think about when addressing
Right.
things like Trunks.
But
Do
what I'm
you
saying
want
is
people to be able to play Foreseeing Hit at all costs safely?
right, exactly. But like they want that. That's why they're making stuff like the new critical Vegeta, right? Like that card and like those kind of stuff like that.
That's
But-
power creep. That's nothing else.
Yeah.
That's power creep. You're doing
But-
so many things for 2 costs. That's power
Listen,
creep.
but what I'm saying is, instead, because of things like the Trunks and stuff like that, you can't play bigger boss monsters or anything like that because of the fact that there's like, what do? You tap however much energy for them, and it gets Trunks. So like you wasted basically your whole turn from one card. So now what? Like
But
I just
Again, that is the game. So if you look at the game competitively, because that's usually going to be in the competitive standpoint, sometimes in locals, sure, but that is the game. Like you have to think about that and the type of decks that you want to play. You can probably play.
How many times do you guys sit there? You have to. The reason I'm okay with Trunks only because of the fact that it makes you play around it from a competitive standpoint. You look at it and you go, okay, show me you have Trunks. Force them to have it. And if they don't have it, then obviously your play gets rewarded. If you think you have to play around Trunks, then you answer the unison or you play around the Trunks. Like, I don't know.
But the
To
thing
me-
is, though, right? You do that. Blue has too many good defensive options for like you to even try and stop a unison. What do you like? The second
It's the same-
Majin Buu
okay.
gets on,
Hey, bro.
the second Majin Buu gets
Hey, bro,
on
can
board,
I-
right?
Can I just say something real quick? Sandy got a lot of fucking opinions for someone who quit the game, by the way. He's typing up a whole goddamn.
He
a
is
whole
typing a lot.
Whole goddamn paragraph. 3 paragraphs in the chat.
I will say, the issue could also end up just fixing itself because unisons got printed and they want to push unisons. The later sets, the more and more we go, the more ways we're finding ways of interacting with unisons, right? So like Zamasu was one of the first counterplay, was the first counterplay that really directly hit unisons. And it showed them starting to play with the idea that you could have cards that are hard removal, right? Like we had cards with barrier, and then eventually we got cards that got around barrier. We had counterplays, and then we had deflect. So I do think that we're going to get to a world soon, not super soon, but soon, where hard removal for unisons is going to be accessible enough across all the colors that we're going to have more reliable ways to try and play around the issue that counterplays create. Hopefully.
I do kind of think they are slowly they're trying to figure out a way to make it to where they don't just punish unisons, right? Because you have like the extra cards that are 2-drop that can just straight remove a marker, and then you have like SS4 Bardock removes a marker on swing. The Gohan, when you charge it, removes a marker. Go Tanks, you can pay 1 to remove a marker. You're starting to get like glimpses of kind of what you had mentioned on being able to kind of, in a sense, nuke a unison. However, like it's the same thing with like playing around Majin Buu. Like if I'm playing against blue, no matter what color I'm playing, if I know I have to play around Majin Buu or Trunks, it just becomes a different pathway that you have to take to get around that. It forces you to become a better player to go around it. I'm not saying it's necessarily always that, because yes, blue has, you have the chill, the negate token dude, you have dimension magic, you have Whis, you have Hatch. You have all, blue has the most defensive options for it, but it forces you to play around it. Like, how, I don't understand why that would make it in a bad and a competitive sense. You see blue, your mindset changes on how you need to play against it, and then from there, that's how you play.
And I think that kind of comes down to color identity, right? So
100%.
As we understand and continue to develop color identity, which this game has kind of really had an issue with, blue is that kind of thing. You always think of Trunks, and you always think of Android 17, which is another card that probably people will talk about for ban lists. I personally don't think that's really too much of an issue. I think I think it was a 4-drop. It is an issue because if it's a 7-drop, I don't think it's an issue. The only deck that really efficiently plays it is Soul Striker and Vegeta Ramp. Every other deck,
Vegeta Ramp was the one I worried about most with it. Yeah.
Yes, and I think any other deck, or I should say, any other situation, if you're getting the 7 energy, same thing with Shrouded, by the way. If you're getting the 6 to 7 energy, then you should be finishing the game. You know, that's not something that you should address as a game, because now when you're going to the competitive and you're in a game for an hour because there's no Shrouded or Andrew 17 in those particular decks or those type of decks, because you're going long with blue, then that's an issue with the game, and that's that's not an issue that, or it's not a problem that you should fix when there's not a problem in the first place.
I will say to that point, Shroud needs to fucking go.
Okay, well,
I disagree.
I literally just made a whole point about it, but okay.
Hard disagree.
Doesn't have, okay.
My problem with Shrouded is that while I agree you need ways to end the game, and I agree that when we're starting to get to places where we're paying 5-6 energy for cards, they need to be hugely impactful, because the design of the game where we're at now and the way that the game plays out just incentivizes that that's how it needs to be. I have no issues with that at all. My issue goes that there's like almost no, like outside of trying to mitigate your opponent's board, which some colors are just inherently really bad at doing, there's the only colors that deal with Fu are 1.5 colors. So you have blue that can deal with it with the stuff that prevents it from hitting the board. You have yellow, Frieza's army leaders. You have a SCR, and you have 1 black card that, like, if your opponent doesn't have a bunch of weenies on board, they can answer. So realistically, my issue, if Fu was more answerable across the color space, I'd have no issues with him.
It's not
but
supposed
the way
to be.
he exists right now.
It's not supposed to be. It's a finisher. It's not supposed to be answerable. You're saying
but
you that's the logic. If you put that logic for the new 4-cost red Goku, what's the difference? I don't understand. You
What
get to
for-
see their
what for
hand.
cost?
You get to
The A drop.
The
The A drop.
What's the difference? There's no difference.
I
You get
can
to see their hand.
I can rest mode it. I can in red there's no. No, so like blue can't do anything to it. Oh my god.
Right.
Okay.
That's it. What do you mean?
The only
Your
thing you
whole
actually
point. I literally just made the whole point about finishers.
You
and
can
it's the
negate
same
its
thing.
attack. You can negate its attacks. You can
Yeah,
still
but you
combo
don't-
when they go for the swing.
You're only
Food
paying
turns
for
off
it.
your entire deck. Food turns off your entire deck.
On turn 6. You have
turn
you have
six, is your
6
game
turns to
not
finish
over?
the game.
What?
You're like,
Okay,
oh,
the
it's
only-
six.
There is
only-
there is
Oh, the
an
game should
inherent
keep going.
issue.
Oh,
George.
There's no there isn't no,
Alright.
it's you should not be rewarded just for getting to turn 6. I'm sorry, but like yes, like don't get me wrong, A17 is incredibly powerful card.
Where are you going then? Turn 8?
No, I'm not saying the game. I'm not saying the game shouldn't.
I don't understand.
I'm not saying the game shouldn't end. But I'm saying paying 6 shouldn't win you the game. Like it. Like
if I'm paying
saying-
6 energy for a card, I better be ending the
Right,
game.
no,
That's
right,
all I'm
yes.
saying.
I'm not saying it shouldn't have the ability to close the game, but I shouldn't be able. I shouldn't just have to like put my cards on the table and be like, okay, well, effectively, you turned off every single card in my deck.
Okay,
I
but if you're at the point where
understand
you're
what
like,
you're saying, George, but I'm also telling you there is matchups that you're not supposed to win sometimes in order to balance the game. So if you have a 60-40 matchup or something that you know that, hey, I'm going against blue, I can't play Shrouded. Oh, okay. I'm going against someone who plays Shrouded and I'm not playing blue. Oh, okay. I should probably end the game. And that's
That's
the thing.
every deck.
No, it's
That
not.
doesn't. Oh my. Oh
not
my
every deck.
God.
It's not every
No,
deck,
but we're
George.
also-
It's
we're
not
all-
okay. The only decision point should be more than just am I playing against blue? No? Okay, then Fu Shrouded is going to win me the game. Like,
It's
that's
not-
wild.
It doesn't also win your game. If you have 15 cards to their 1, which is Shrouded, you're not going to lose the game. Wow, look at that. You get to
Yeah,
combo out
obviously,
the whole mechanics of the day. The game goes through.
No one
It is
is playing Shrouded
situational.
in
It
that
is
kind of a
not.
board.
There is
It is
no-
not.
there
It
is-
is. Oh
unless you have
God.
12 gods and you're saying switch this card to
Listen.
rest and you win the game, or you're
Listen,
playing
listen,
blue
listen,
Beerus
listen.
and you get the 16 energy, there is no auto win in the game. I'm
I
telling you.
I can't negate. My super combos are turned off. Every single card in my deck is
Hey,
turned off.
but what
except for the
matchup?
leader, which-
What games are you in where like because in yellow now has an answer to it, right? Because the Goku can put it in rest mode. So now
Crusher
he
Ball.
does
The problem
nothing.
with
Giant
Fu
Ball.
isn't
It has
Fu.
nothing.
It's that he turns
Right.
off everything.
That's
The issue
fine,
isn't Fu.
because if they tap it down in yellow, what else do you do that turn? You tap 6. So now your turn's over. My turn. I do my swings. I do
You're
the
not
stuff
playing
I'm gonna
Fu
do.
on an empty board. You are winning the game.
It gets
So you
tapped
just have-
down
you just have
with
you just have
yellow.
the
What are you
perfect board
doing?
to play Fu? Oh, okay. So the opponent just doesn't do anything to the board. Oh, okay.
Oh,
So your opponent's gonna be
Right.
if you're playing against yellow, your opponent's gonna be tapped out with no possible way
George,
to do anything.
I 100% agree with you that Fu, as the effect, is toxic. I think it's toxic for the game. Sure. But I
yeah,
also
of
think
course.
that the game should end six energy or
I
less.
don't disagree with that. I think that
so
I
I'm
do
cool
think the
with
game
Fu.
needs to end. I do think the game needs to end, and I agree. We have an issue in our game where if games go super late, then tournaments aren't ending. I get all of that. I just think the game ender shouldn't be something that turns off your whole deck. I think like some games, just because of the way they interact, you go to
So
7.
you can't have both.
Like
you can't
whatever.
have both. George,
You
you
have
can't have both.
both.
You
I don't
can't say
understand.
you can't say that
You
want
can
the game-
100% have game enders
you can't-
that are
you can't
unanswerable.
say-
You 100% can.
George, look at me.
Oh my god.
Contradicting your own point.
You can't say you want the game to end at turn 6 and then say that you don't want them to turn off the
Yeah, what?
in their
That makes
hand.
no
What do you
The
mean?
game is going to
What?
end on turn 6.
Boss monsters cost 3.
You can't
Yeah,
have
Godfist,
What are you
Games.
saying?
Godfist
You can't have
Goku,
both.
Godfist Goku is a 3 cost. Cell Xeno is free. Vegeta SCR costs 4. There are so many game enders that do not need to cost 6. You combo any of those with a counter meta cooler, you're closing out the game. Hello?
A bunch of different things then. So you're talking about cost, but you're also talking about the effect. You get the effect for paying 6, and the game should end on 6. Yeah. You agreed with yourself, but you're contradicting yourself as well.
No, I'm not. I'm saying they're not mutually exclusive. Oh my god.
Yes, you are.
And then, not to mention, in certain matchups, it's gonna end before you get to the 6 mana or the 6 mana cost anyway. Like, you play against a aggro black deck, you should not get to 6 energy. Your game should not go to the point where 6 energy is an option. Right?
Again, I agree that the effect is toxic. I get that. We have an issue with the game. We have an issue with the game with games ending. We've talked about this before. People are bitching about the time rules, everything, right? So why are we taking away something that fixes a problem in the game and try to get rid of it? Again, you're fixing a problem that isn't there. I'm trying to tell you that.
Should end. At some point, tapping 6 should be...
Let's take a break, and we'll take a look at the chat real quick before we...
talking about this. So that's all it is. It's just us talking about this.
Let's take a look. Shrouded has to go. Okay, Hermit Style, thank you for joining us and letting us know. So, Devin, I'm talking to chat.
Chat too. So chat. Let's see.
Thank you, Hermit Style, for coming in and letting us know. That's probably Jimmy. I haven't talked to you, but I'm very aware of your work. Thank you.
About the ban list. What are your thoughts on the ban list? What are you guys thinking?
John, our previous teammate, is in the chat. He is asking if set 16 is a winner. I think overall it is. It's a pretty well designed.
I think overall.
Shut up! I'm talking to chat. His design is terrible. There's no way I can be ahead of 20 cards to 10 and lose to Foo. That's the whole point of a finisher. So I don't know what you're talking about. I'm sorry. Yes, I do agree that you should be able to interact with the finisher. But what is really interacting when your whole board is killed? You get to pitch your only good card in your hand, and you get to not respond to a deflect 25-35k double strike dual attacker. So I guess we have some double standards here in the chat, huh?
Right. I saw one good comment in the chat. So he just said, Michael Dolan said, "What do you think of giving black a free counterplay?" But
No.
We're not going to get a counterplay. They hate black. We literally just got a token, so we're probably going to see it in two sets from now. Vegeta, thank you for joining, by the way. I saw your message earlier. I appreciate that. Wild Tick, hard disagrees about Foo. Espira is on the right. Okay. Race to Foo games. Okay. So here's the thing. You're racing to win. So if you're going against Sin Shenron and they tap 6, by the way, are you defending that too? The Sin Shenron has to go. Do we have to errata that?
You can counterplay it.
Are we? Yeah. Ooh. Yeah. So the two things that are that affect. By the way, the two things that affect the Sin Shenron affect Shrouded. Is that what you're saying? And they both tap 6. Wait a second. Who would have thought that one?
I can. Shenron pays 6. I can floodgate it. I can respond it. I can use my super combos.
I'm talking to chat.
Cards that you can counterplay with the Shenron effect. What are the only cards that could hit it?
Oh, by the way, the format and as well as decks evolve. So, so if you're going against a deck that interacts with your drop, you're not going to play Shrouded anyway. So I guess that's a little bit of a thing to worry about, huh? Anyway, thanks for joining, everyone. This got about 47 people in here. I appreciate that. So, my errata list. I didn't even talk about my errata list. So, limit. I think limit. Real talk. I think Slug should be limited just because of AOD. If you give it in support, the 2-drop. What is it? The Baby Vajanemba. That 2-drop is insane support for AOD, and that doesn't make AOD a tier 1. I think it makes a really good deck, but you should probably get it down a notch just with Slug, and it will hit yellow as well. So I think just putting it down to 1 be really good, and then
like I said, I think you errata to make it to a Slug leader.
I think 1 because it's gonna make people not play it. It's gonna reduce consistency, and you get to still play it, and it has barrier, so it's not gonna go anyway. I think all the other ones are kind of dumb. I think Rebrianna is gonna be errated to a mono green leader. That's a hot take, but it's gonna incentivize people to play green. It's gonna decentivize and play Cell Surge, and I think Cell Surge still has good options for hand control. So there's that.
What do you think?
What?
Oh.
That's pretty much it. I don't really have anything else to errata. I think the game's in a good place. But thwarting. I already said it earlier. Thwarting should probably be 3 or more energy for Union Fusion, or to play the card in general.
One drop slug. Why would 1 drop slug needs to go?
Not
No.
1 drop slug. No, it's gonna be the 3 drop.
No, John said in the chat.
I know. I see it.
Yeah.
You can counter Sin. Yeah, but you get like 30 cards on board. You can't block with them, but at least you have 30 extra combo costs and a bunch of effects that go off that turn. So I don't know. It's crazy.
Thwarting I'd probably just put more of an energy limit, more so than like making him cost a lot of energy.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
I,
So
I
like
think if you make it 2
you
or
have
3
to have 3
energy,
energy.
SR.
Yeah, like that's fine with me. Like I think that makes a lot of sense. I think a turn 1 thwarting is kind of stupid.
Yeah, I think that's not good for the game. Although,
like
that's
the-
not good for the game. Sorry.
SR has the same clause like that. Like they need to do it where it's like your opponent has to have 2 energy.
Yeah.
That would be fine.
Yep. You're always on a no errata train. Yeah, I feel it.
I feel that, but
I prefer bans personally, but
Yeah, ban and limits is my thing too. Is that it for ban lists? Do I have to yell
think
at George
so.
more?
I don't think no. So, okay,
I can yell at George more. That's fine.
He's brought this up. I don't think Icarus as a leader is that bad. I don't think he's worth banning or doing anything new.
Luis said you built like Uncle Ruckus.
bruh, what the fuck?
I don't listen to Luis, okay?
Continue.
That man still plays Digimon, so I don't want to hear anything he has to say.
You're
But no, because Icarus, I don't think is that bad. Like it's basically just another generic yellow leader, and like if you get rid of Icarus, they'll just go to the next generic yellow leader, which I was already doing because I didn't want to play.
What
Icarus.
is that, by the way? Can you let me know?
What do you mean?
What is the next generic yellow leader that we have?
Next generic yellow leader?
'Cause we had Mega Frieza, we
Oh,
had yellow Broly. Yellow Broly's still cool.
Yellow
Yeah.
or yellow Broly. You either play one of those two.
Mm-hmm.
There's still like other old ones that you could play, like the SS2 Gohan yellow leader. You can still play it if you want to. That's still not terrible.
I'm gonna say you could actually like I know red yellow baby's a meme, the way I play it, but you could actually just run him as a good yellow stuff leader, and you'd actually be pretty decent because the dual attack is really good aggression.
Yep. Yellow Go Tanks. Like there's too many yellow generic leaders. So like Icarus is fine. Like it doesn't do anything crazy.
Oh
The
my
yellow cars
God.
are good.
Right. No, I agree, Dev. Yeah, I agree.
Okay.
What? What's up?
No, nothing. I'm just listening to.
Yeah, I
see
think
them
yellow
cool
Go
over
Tanks
there.
would probably be really.
That's fine. I
probably
don't
be the-
care.
What's up?
I don't care about the picture. I don't care
What
about
picture?
Yeah. Anyway.
Uh-huh.
What are you talking about? So yeah, yellow Go Tanks is probably the one if Icarus does get touched. I like I said, I don't think Icarus is too bad, but I do think that I think the errata should be pitch a card after you draw a card. Pretty sure. After, not before. But that's pretty much it. Like I said, I what can you really do? You just ban the leader, I guess. I don't think it's really like it wasn't that much of an issue beforehand, right? Like so.
No,
Yeah,
it's the card. It's the card pool, not the leader.
Yeah,
That good.
I think it is.
It was strong because of blue yellow, right? The like blue yellow Bojack and stuff like that. And then they got rid of Bojack, but then they added more like generically good mono yellow cards. So then they just made Icarus good as just a mono yellow leader because he was mono yellow and it had good mono yellow cards and he draws a lot generically. So it's like, oh, okay, I'll just play Icarus. Now if you get rid of Icarus, the next one, yellow Go Tanks. After that, Frieza. After that, yellow Broly. After that, like there's too many for you to like just be like, oh, ban Icarus, because it's the problem's still there because the cards are still there.
Yeah.
Pretty
Nick Menard said thwarting isn't effective turn 3. I disagree. I mean,
I
at
agree.
the point of playing thwarting turn 1 is to do 2 damage. It's not to remove a card. It is not to have a 25k body. Most things that are a 25k body, by the way, for Gogeta Xeno and as well as the new Trunks, both of them enable for it to be on turn 1 and turn 2. And I don't think any other deck has something comparative to a 25k double striker that removes something. So, which is why you need to be putting it on turn 3. So when you, again, those are the balances that you have to kind of think of for the game. Plus, it doesn't feel good, like just seeing a thwarting turn 1. How do I remove it? And do I combo out of it? And the answer is no.
Yeah, everything comparable, like Red Vegeta needs not Red Vegeta, but the double strike Piccolo. First, you need to actually pay. Actually, I think is that one free or you pay 1 for it? I can't remember. I think.
Which one?
But like you need a unison on board.
It's
Yeah,
free.
it's free, but
Yeah. Blue pays 1 for the Tapion. You know, like,
Yeah.
there's just nothing that really. And I'm not saying every archetype needs to be the same, but I do think like a 25k double striker on turn 1 is ridiculous.
Yep, I agree. I definitely agree. Set 15 Broly needs a errata to remove his permanent. That's not going to happen. It's very uninteractive deck, so I don't think that's going to happen. What else?
they said yellow Vegeta Unison needs to go.
Vegeta?
Okay.
No, that's.
I'm personally okay with it because I play black, and like I hate to deal with that card. But no, in reality, that card's fine.
It's needed.
It needs to stay.
I mean, like when you talk about
It
yellow
realistically
in general,
only stays at 2 or 3 counters unless you pay 4 for it, because it never fully pluses. It can put itself in rest mode or something in rest mode to gain a marker, and then you -1 anyway. Like that card's fine.
Nick Menard is having an argument.
Oh my god,
So,
please, Sandy, yes.
Unerrata Pickle Search? Dude, that'd be sweet.
Yes, please.
No.
Sweet.
No.
I mean, only if you Honorata Surge Crew. What the hell?
Yeah,
please
seriously.
do both. Yo, that would shake up the game. Holy.
Oh my god.
That'd be so good, bro.
You're okay
That
with
was
that, but on food?
Bro, I mean, if we're just trying to break the game, like, bro, bring them back, dog.
I've said this so many times before. Bandai has the choice to break the game right now and be okay. I 100% think that they can break the game. It would drive more players and older players to come back, and then they could fix it afterwards. I'm okay with that because the game is such a pretty balanced place. It's just literally just fine tuning and just making exciting archetypes.
What's safe to come back?
Free drop spell.
I think they could Honorata one. Yes, I think they could Honorata the King Vegeta field personally.
Yeah, they need to fix that. That was a terrible hit.
That I
killed.
don't agree with because now that's probably
100%.
like what is that
Sandy,
fixing though? What is that?
Fixing the fact that they destroyed an entire deck they just made.
Like here's the thing. I think I would rather you Honorata the field and then like ban the TPs. Because then you bring the archetype back to life, but it doesn't have the potential to become the degenerate BS that like it turned into.
It won't be degenerate because the cards that made it degenerate are banned.
Yeah.
So even if you leave the TPs, it's still like a decent deck. It's just not overly broken because now
like
the cards that made
uninteractive like broken or burn a life is kind of I don't know.
I will say that part's kind of iffy about the whole archetype.
Yeah, that's whatever.
I think maybe the unerrata the life take. That's pretty much it. But the burn should be 1. You should pay for that.
Yes.
That's just me.
I will say the resilience of the field card. Like here's the thing. Like if you, I guess the middle ground would be like I do like the idea that it plays on your opponent's board 1 for free, but it shouldn't be able to play 1 on your board for free either. So like I'd be fine with like a half Honorata where like it allows one end of the spectrum to be able to play 1 for free.
Yeah.
I think 1-drop Bardock can come back.
Okay, man.
Well, I thought so too. Which, like, first, I still think it would be fine to come back, but the fact that they gave us this like limit one variant, I don't see it.
Sucks.
Nah, I
Yeah,
want
that
Bardock
just
back.
proves
I do
that
want
we're
Bardock
never
back
gonna see
for-
it unbanned.
I want Bardock back just so I can play Goten again. That's it. But I
Like-
don't think that's gonna happen. I don't think that's gonna happen.
Because like Bardock would be fine. It doesn't
No.
do anything
No,
crazy.
no.
It's self-awakened, just like any other card. It gives you
No.
one.
Blue yellow is strong, and they don't need an early game
No.
because that is an early game. Because you still got to do the 1 to 2 swap with Senzu Bean, and you have literally everything else after that. You imagine that being played in
No,
literally anything.
we are not unbanning or 3-drop overwhelm trunks. No.
that's not gonna happen.
No.
Nick also said that you wouldn't touch anything or Gogeta's Xeno if thwarting was turn 3 or plus. I mean it's still a good card. You still play it. I don't see the issue because like we have so many other good cards. You can literally play the 20k barrier boy instead. You have the blockers. You have everything else in those first 3 turns.
I just think it's wild. I just think it's wild that we live in a world where we feel like on turn 3, paying 1 for a 25k dual striker that removes a card on board is like not the thing you want to do. I don't know. That sounds crazy to me.
I can see it. I can see it being an issue because like blue plays their units in turn 3, so it can be
Yeah.
answered. But that's the point of balancing, right? So like now people have
You could just play another one.
active
You
answer.
could just literally just.
and you can literally play another one.
Don't care. I just play another one.
So I
Oh, you
don't
removed my
see-
unique card. Well, I'll just play another one.
yeah.
So
Nothing
there
against
was
you,
a
Nick,
question.
but it's just, yeah.
Yeah. There's a question asked in chat, and unfortunately, I can't pronounce your name, so my bad. But they said, do you think there will be a format for DBS like Unison Warrior or format for older sets only? I don't know if we're going to do goat format or, block only sets, even though they have experimented with inside events. But I do think, and I think if we're looking to grow the game is insanely competitive, and everything about the way that people play, getting new players in, it's all centered around the competitive aspects of the game. It is incredibly difficult, if not almost impossible, to play this game in a casual manner unless you have a sit down and agree with everyone at the table or at locals that you're all going to play jank, because unfortunately the stuff that's top, like the gap between stuff that is competitively viable and the rest of the stuff is massive. So I think for the long-term success of the game, we need to introduce a format that is more casual / new player friendly. So like if you look at other card games, Commander was probably the biggest boom to MTG in the longest time because it's a casual multiplayer format. When you're looking at
basically tabletop. It's kitchen tabletop
yeah,
for Magic.
exactly. I think you need a way to introduce the game that like people can pick up and play without needing to be competitive spikes to start enjoying. And right now, Dragon Ball is in a place where it's too competitively oriented. Now, I've thought about it, and I'm like, okay, well then how do we create multiplayer Dragon Ball, or how do we create twin-headed giant DBS, or like whatever. Like I don't know what the solve is, but I do think we need more ways to play the game, which allows for it to be easier to get new people to play the game.
I talked about in the 2022 video, which is our next topic and our last topic. I have Dirt Dog coming, so I would like to eat. One of the ones is to have different formats, and the side event at Nats went pretty well actually, and that
It
was
actually went surprisingly well. Like it really did.
NA Nats, by the way. I am not ignorant to my international viewers.
Shout outs to Armando for winning it.
Yeah, yeah. Shout out to him.
True.
He showed probably just like everyone who played in it that it's a viable format. People have fun. A lot of people signed up since it's pretty good pricing, and that's all you need. Yeah, you make a new format, you introduce it in other events, and you also have good pricing with it. And that's how those other formats will be successful. I think for casual bases, you can probably do that. It's just a little bit hard. You know what? I would say you should have an older block for the casual or commander format, so that way it's a cheaper thing to get into. So you just build a deck for like $20 or something like that, or like $30.
Not even, yeah.
Yeah,
like
and then
maybe 10.
and then you go against other people who do the same thing. And I think that's a hugely awesome idea, and that should be in Dragon Ball.
Not to mention Team Wars, stuff like that obviously should stay around for a while because people love Team Wars. That's always a good side event option if you're making an event.
I can't wait for Team Wars. Team Wars is gonna be great. Hopefully.
Yeah, bro. I miss Team Wars. That show's fun. Also,
Celebrations and Team
Justin.
Wars.
Oh,
Yeah.
speaking of that, Rob and I are going to Tampa at the end of the month. If anybody's
Yeah.
teammate for day 2, we
That was
need
gonna be
one.
the next topics, but yes. Well, next week. Sorry, because I literally don't know what to talk about next week. We literally talked about everything this week, so.
Well, we're gonna have some last releases, and I mean, Battle Hour's ramping up. We might have some Battle Hour news, and then who knows?
Profiles. and
Hopefully
so-
we get a Bandai Direct. I want to see Bandai Direct so we can react to it.
I would be down for a Bandai Direct. Yeah.
I can't put it on the video, but we can just
Or,
put it together then.
Yeah, or OP. Like we could if they announce anything about organized play going next year, that'd be cool too.
True. I guess that brings to the next topic because we can talk about the ban list limit all day, and we're at 3 hours now. So, once and not once in 2022, I made an entire video on it. Pretty much listed everything. The gist of it is, continuing to make good decks and archetypes. I want more transparency. So I want a Bandai rep or someone to talk to. For the community to talk to, even though I know there's like a lot of issues with that. But they're gonna have to take the L's. And a bunch of other stuff, like for organized play. So I don't know who else wants to talk about stuff they want to see or don't want to see.
What was that?
Stuff you want to see
Things
in
you wanna see.
2022 this year.
More IRL events. That's all I really want.
Those
I
will
just
come.
want IRL events. That's it.
Those will come. Trust me, they will. Even with all the issues going on with other events going on right now, I know that it will come.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the thing. I want new formats. I think our game is really hard for new players to get into, especially since not only does the game lean very competitive just because of the way that the game plays out, but our player base is incredibly competitive. So it's really, really hard to find places to point new players to for them to learn and pick up the game that won't have them getting like curb stomped every single game for like a month until they kind of figure out how the game plays. So I think that's the biggest thing. Like you said, a rep or maybe just a more consistency on their DBS Direct, or maybe having a panel on DBS Direct that is a bit more like don't get me wrong, I do like that they take viewer questions, but the viewer questions they take are incredibly handpicked and don't actually answer any concerns that the community ever has. So it's awesome that they started that dialogue. And I look forward to them hopefully being a little bit more, a little bit more transparent, or having a rep or something like that. Just open up the lines of communication. I think those would be the biggest things. And I guess solve where they want the game to go, right? So like the Unison Warrior came out, it was insanely power crept. And then they decided that the power creep was too much, and then they pulled back. And ever since Cross Spirits, it's been quote unquote reverse power creep. And I think we're in a place now where it's like, cool. If you want us to, so like, what power level do you want to play as, right? Do you want us to play at the power level that you guys are creating sets at? Well, then you're gonna have to ban a lot of shit, and then we're like basically resetting the game. If you guys want us to be at a middle point, you're gonna have to like start bumping up these sets, because each set having only one viable archetype or two viable archetypes isn't going to get us to a place where we feel like the metagame is evolving and being diverse. Even though I do think some of that's on the player base and we just don't explore enough stuff, but I do think some of it's the card quality. Yeah, go ahead, Rob, if you got something to say.
Kind of piggybacking off of that. Oh, I just lost my train of thought.
Well, since he did, one thing, Bandai, give us more advertising, please. Just more advertising.
Yes, actually, yes, 100%.
Yes. More advertisement, please.
Advertise the game, please.
Yeah, I talked about that. I will try my best to help with that. I mean, my YouTube channel is literally an advertisement for the game, but I will try my best with that. But yeah, I 100% agree.
All of them up top.
Yeah. And there's a lot of ways to do it. Just pay Logan Paul to open a box. There you go. What's it? What's the issue?
I do think that they scaled it back for release power level. However, I think there's the argument to be made that since Cross Spirits, it has been fairly consistent. It
has been,
like,
but no one plays it.
I
right? Like
But okay, but dude, again, it's kind of piggyback off your thing, right? Mm-hmm. What direction do you want to go? Do you want it to be kind of like a casual, okay, couple cards here that get added? Or do you want it to kind of be like what Konami does with Yu-Gi-Oh! And every 3-4 months nuke basically the format with power creep stuff and have to constantly keep going and going and going?
That's what I was saying
Is
earlier.
that-
Just break the game.
Yeah.
It's fine.
Another thing I'd like to see, I wish they can do it more with TPs. Carlos made a point with having the Ginyu. I wish they would start making TPs to kind of power creep these old like set 1 through say like 5 archetypes that don't like they were good for like 3 or 4 sets, then got power crept and then just never get touched again. It would be cool to start seeing like TPs or like 1 or 2 cards in a set that magically make the deck a lot more consistent or better.
Yeah. They've been doing that a little bit, and I think the more they do that, the better, right? Like, and I think
Why?
we've been seeing that shift in
Why?
TPs. I think we're getting to a place as much. So, like you
Why?
said, I'd love for them to do even more of the supporting old archetypes in TPs. I think that'd be awesome. Like, I don't want
I hate
TPs
you.
to become like TP cards like Red Broly Swap are terrible. I think the card that you absolutely need a 4 of coming from TPs to make an archetype functional is stupid. I think that's ridiculous.
TPs and making it more of like it's cool if you have it, but it's not needed. The fact that, like you were saying with Red Broly, the fact that it's a staple 4 of a tournament TP should not be $100 a piece.
Actual.
Mm-hmm.
Or
And
just a playset. Like, you shouldn't have. Well, I guess it's whatever. I don't know. This set of TPs haven't been that great, so I can't really.
Yeah, well, I think right now we're in that spot where the pendulum has kind of swung the other way. Now we need to like balance it. Like if we did TPs like OTS packs, like think about it this way, right? Like I think it would be a like people are like, okay, but no one wants like altars. Well, like that's not completely true. Like imagine if one TP set had like gold foiling variants of like all the blocker negates. Those are cards that used in every single deck, and I think people would love something, right? Or like yeah, like I think you do a mix of like supporting old archetypes, maybe a reprint or 2 of a very sought out card, and then you do max rarity of a card that was never reprinted with like let's say before Sensu Bean got foiling, you would just do it that way, and then boom, like a foil Sensu Bean is what $50 before we got a million reprints.
Look what happened to like Mafuba and Cold Bloodlust when those were like your winners. They were flashy alt arts for first place at locals, right? Go back to something like that, or even put them in the TPs. Have your TPs be support for inset archetypes, bring stuff for old archetypes, and then if they are doing that, throw in 1 or 2 reprints like how they did with this previous one where you had Zamasu and the Khalifa, and make it to where the cards that would you be needed for the revamped archetypes in the TP set, so that way they're not gonna skyrocket. You're still kind of balancing the market to a point, but you're making it accessible for everybody.
I agree, and I think that's a good point. Says someone in the chat said less cards. Yeah, it shouldn't be any more than like 10 cards in a TP pack.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
the fact that my locals could grind out an entire TP and not even guarantee that one person, like if the entire locals bands together and tries to get like, okay, you like this TP, you like this TP, you like this TP, and the fact that my entire locals could band together, we grind out a TP pack for like a month, and no one even has a playset of the one they want, I think is ridiculous. I think that's absurd.
And
That's a little too much.
We kind of had that issue in the first like few first few TPs were just insanely pricey, but like later on, there's a bunch of just TPs that just weren't great.
I have
And
a binder of TPs that are pennies.
And yeah, some of them did get some support, and if you reduce the number, we'll have that again. But my argument to that is that let's just make them good. Like make them
I
desirable.
mean, like, kind of do
It
that,
doesn't
right?
Make them
hard.
playable.
Like-
Make them playable.
Well, desirable
make
and
them-
playable are two different things, but yes.
Oh, okay. Like this one, right? Like the Gohan. It's playable to a point, but it supports an old archetype. You make stuff like this that's a little bit more viable without being absurdly broken and not necessarily a staple, then I think you're working toward the right direction.
No, 100%. Like
there was a
super
TP where they made a
combos.
pan that. Why would you ever play it?
Like, bro, well, like I don't. But like, think about it this way. Like, some of the mythic alt arts, gold alt arts that we got. Like, imagine just some of those ended up being TP ones, right? Like, or super
Yeah.
combos. Like the anniversary box, we get like alternate art for like gold foil reprints. Like with the fucking the Japanese lettering on it. Like those would be like super sick, like things you could pick up, right? Like Army's Reinforcement. I wish I could get this in like a gold foiling. They're played in every deck, you know.
Yeah,
like
I don't
there are
know why
so
they
many
didn't.
I would
avenues.
love that.
That was
I would
definitely a
like
miss.
that.
Yeah.
Right? Like I think there are so many avenues that they could like make it so that because the whole point of the TP is to get people to go and play at their store. So like fine, I get that. They need to be desirable. So I'm not saying they shouldn't be worth anything. They should because that inspires play. But there's a way to do that that doesn't force me to pay $200 to play Red Broly.
Yeah.
Or at
I
its
agree.
peak 400 just for the staple 4T the 4 TPs.
That's what we're talking about. Like the
Yeah, I mean though.
was like insane to try and
Oh yeah,
out and get it.
Gogeta's like what 100 each for like the longest time. Like bruh.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, I think that's pretty much it. Huh?
Yeah.
So this
Yeah,
was a
think
little
so.
bit longer for everyone who tuned in. It's about
Oh,
500
one last
people.
question that I saw
Oh,
in chat, and I
no.
thought it was actually pretty funny. It was a good topic. You could take the picture off my face, please.
What?
But he said, "What meta stayed in DBS the longest?"
This one.
Surge. Oh well, this one, yeah, UW, the
I would
UW
say
block.
Yeah.
UW block, but I would actually, I think it'd have to be either this one. No, besides this one, it would be either Surge or Storm.
Yes,
I think
it's
Mm,
those are
yeah.
the 3 longest formats.
Yeah.
I mean, this is by far the longest because you have stacks still from set 9 and set 9 wasn't UW.
Set
But you
10,
still have
um,
decks that are set 10 that are so relevant now.
Yeah, it's like
Yeah.
set 10 forward. I don't think there's
Yes.
ever been a meta that's been longer than 6 sets.
Can I just say I'm sick and tired of UW. It
I'm
all
over
feels
it.
the same. It's
I'm
felt
over it.
samey for like 6 sets, man. Can we try something else?
Get rid of the counterplays. You won't see any unisons. I'm telling you. Again, there's a
I'm
lot of ways to shake up the game.
I'm fine with no unisons.
I'm
That's
so
fine with
tired
me.
of I'm so tired of UW. Like I'm so done with it.
I'm over it. So bored. It's like they already missed with Spirit Boost. I think Empower is gonna be a pretty like a miss for the most part. So I'm just.
I agree.
It's time to let it go. It's time to let UW go.
Well, we have to let it go because I think we're in a new block next, right? So
Are we?
Are
No.
we? No, we're not.
No, we have an additional UW set after this one, I think.
Oh yeah, Unison Warrior boost.
Yeah.
17. That should be the last one.
This hopefully the last one.
That should be the
For the
last
love,
one. I'm pretty
for
sure.
the love of
I
God, be the
read
last one.
I read an article somewhere in the website. I thought so. Oh well. Either way, thanks for everyone who joined. Thanks everyone on the
Appreciate it,
stream.
yeah.
I think we
Yep,
peaked like at 50 people and 500 some people stopped by, so that's good. And plenty of chat stuff. Next week is going to be the same time, 4 o'clock Pacific, 7 o'clock
Hopefully we don't go 3
Eastern.
hours.
Shut up. And we're not going to talk too much next week. So, or as much. It's not going to be 3 hours. I don't think. It's just
No
gonna be whatever
promises.
is going on next week. And other stuff we haven't talked about.
Yep.
Anything else, guys?
Nah, I think you pretty much nailed everything.
Yeah, I think that covers
Okay.
everything.
Mhm.
Cool. Awesome. I'm gonna end it here. I will see with you. I'll see you guys in the next one. Oh, tomorrow, Circus Series. If you guys don't already are
Yeah,
in
true.
it, please sign up for tomorrow's Circus Series, 4 o'clock Pacific time. I spammed it in the chat in case you wanted to go to it. It's free. We're doing points instead of the leader. Next first Sunday of February, we'll do the leader again. Shout out to TCG Metals, and that's pretty much it. So join.